All right, we're streaming live now on YouTube. Thank you to the texter who said, "Hey, you didn't start the stream." Apparently, little look behind the curtain here at WCCO Radio. You might expect there's like a large team of people kind of handling all of this stuff. This is our YouTube production studio team. It's just me and two computers, and you click a button that says go live, and then you click another button that says go live. You know, I have a son who's a computer science major at NYU, and I've asked him if he could please figure out the computers for me. There is a point where you go from being like the person who is the tech savvy person in your sphere. And I don't know if it's when I turned 50, all of a sudden it's like I feel like an idiot, like I don't know how to do anything, but it does sort of happen. It does sort of happen, that's for sure. We are talking about gun control today. We're talking about Annunciation. I have just been this week gutted looking at the different reminiscences, the different stories. Today, hearing from the priest at Annunciation Church and the principal posting a video on their Instagram page. The Star Tribune had the story of parents who were trying hard to get anything changed at the state capitol. And we're asking if we let those parents down at 651-461-9226. Let's go to Jeff from St. Paul. Jeff, thanks for listening. Do you think we let those families down?
Jason, first of all, my condolences that the first day of the state fair, which is such a joyous thing, is going to bring back those memories for you. Yeah, but you guys keep into it for the whole time. And yeah, I do think we let them down. Maybe not in the future, but we certainly let them down over the past year. And I guess my recommendation, not thinking if gun violence is a disease, then we need to kind of know where the virus is. And I would like to see us register all the guns in the state. If gun violence is a disease, then and if it was like Ebola, then we'd want to know where all the Ebola cases were. So I kind of think we need to register all the guns.
Isn't that interesting? I know there's such opposition to the idea of having a gun registry. And this ties into another topic that I want to talk about a little bit later in the show today with those flock cameras, where right now as a nation, criminals are out there using every technological tool available to them. And we have decided that because we are so against the idea of a registry of any sort, that we're going to handcuff the police and not let them use a pretty amazing technology to... Now, you got to have guardrails for sure. You have to have very strong privacy laws. But this same idea when you say, all right, if we believe that gun violence is a public health issue, it's interesting to think about. I think the hardest thing when it comes to passing a law about guns is that this idea that, like, the bad guys aren't following any laws anyway. So is the law route the logical way to go, Jeff? And to me, that's sort of a defeatist attitude. Like, criminals break every law. Like, every law there is designed because somebody breaks it. So this idea that, well, you know, the bad guys aren't going to follow these laws anyway. To me, it just, that doesn't hold up for me.
So I guess my point on that is, well, we have laws about speeding, and people do not follow the laws of speeding sometimes, but does mean we get rid of all the laws on speeding, and they kill as well. So
right. Thanks, anyway, Jeff. Appreciate your call. Appreciate you joining us. 651-461-9226. Obviously, anybody out here, you're welcome to come up if you want to share a thought on this. It is the question of whether we let these families down. I think if you haven't seen the Star Tribune piece where they interviewed the families, these families who are fighting for a change in the law didn't have the view that I have. They felt like their fight, they didn't expect to achieve any gun law change. They saw it as year one of a process that needs to keep going on and on and on. And while I admire that view, like, to me, we did let them down. And I do think there are other parts of this, right? The mental health aspect of it. But for my money, people bring up mental health when it comes to gun violence, which is valid. But then where's the money? Where's the policy change? What are we doing? Are you bringing it up because you care about mental health, or are you just trying to shut down any opportunity to change a gun law? I do think you have to do both, and I do think one thing is not going to solve this. But we could try something. We could throw something against the wall and put a limit on it. But say we're going to try this law for 4 years, and then it goes away, so we can have another discussion as to whether it makes sense. These things don't have to be the law forever. Make it a law for a couple of years, have it sunset, revisit it. If it didn't do anything, or if it didn't work, or if you think it impugned on the liberty of other people, then wipe it. Well, why not try something? That's sort of my view. Jason, a texter, says there is not a law on the books that would have stopped either Annunciation or the death of the Hortmans. The only solution would be weapon confiscation. And if you know your history about any disarmed society, we know what follows after that. I do understand that. I do not want weapon confiscation. I don't want, I mean, look, at the state fair, am I glad that, that in our community we have law-abiding citizens who are well-trained and who may have a gun on them, or that people go hunting? I think that's wonderful. That's fine by me. Jason, complete letdown. Nothing will change, says a texter. Another text says we haven't done anything about gun control, and we can't because we can't agree on it. Maybe we should focus on mental health. Yeah, I mean, that would be a win, right? For all of the talk about mental health, like, have we done anything about that either? No. Kim is from Big Lake. Kim, you're on CCO. Do you think we let those families, did we let those kids, Harper and Fletcher, did we let them down by not doing anything? Or I do think you could make a case that, like, look, we shouldn't let the correct emotion, which follows something like what happened 1 year ago today, that shouldn't be the determining factor when it comes to policy. What do you think, Kim?
No, I think you absolutely let them down. And I think you let them down in the way that too many of these kinds of weapons are made available for people to obtain, whether it's a mental health issue or not. Yes, there needs some of that as well, but people don't need a weapon that has 50 round magazines in it and can shoot fully automatic. It just doesn't make any sense. And the police, it's causing problems for the police. It's only there for them to have in the military to have.
Yeah. That's how I feel about this. I know people feel very passionately, Kim. Thank you for the call, and feel differently, and I understand that too. But I would like to see more experimentation. We're a state that thinks of ourselves as innovators. Where's the innovation? We just sort of sputtered to the end of the legislative session and did nothing. To me, the proper way to remember what happened 1 year ago today is to move forward and make some change, do something. We're going to break in a minute. We're going to shift back to state fair talk. Stephanie Shimp, one of my favorite people of all time, is going to join us here on our front porch. We're going to talk about some of the drinks, the way the drinks of the state fair have changed. My goodness, what a variety. And one of the best drinks I've ever had at the fair, I had at Blue Barn today. So we'll talk to Steph Shimp about that in just a minute. Live from the state fair. Great crowd. If you're coming out the state fair, come visit us. Steph Shimp in just minutes here on CC.
Live from the Minnesota State Fair, News Talk 830 WCCO's broadcasts are built by Lindus Construction. The last call you'll ever need for all your home improvement projects.
So my friend Dan was walking around the state fair with me today, helping me do some of the new food analysis as we tested the new foods at the fair. And he says, Jason, I'm a little surprised you're not wearing some, fancy linen outfit from J.H. & Sons today. I am instead wearing a T-shirt with the corn water tower from Rochester on it. That felt like a little more state fair appropriate to me. It's Jason here for J.H. & Sons. I was just over there at the Galleria earlier this week, picking out some clothes for my trip to Ireland. We love to talk about J.H. & Sons for their incredible suits, their black tie, tuxedos. I mean, they've got the tailoring they have there is unbelievable. And Alicia, who has taken care of me on Monday was like, Jason, one of your listeners came in and bought 2 suits over the weekend. I'm like, fantastic. I mean, you are the best looking listeners in the Twin Cities. Of course, you're going to dress at J.H. & Sons. Incredible tailoring, even better service. That's the difference. Go check them out at the Galleria in Edina. Tons of free parking. Visit their website. Sign up for their VIP email list. You'll be the first to know about sales and special events. Do it at jhnSons.com.
So when do you need to start thinking about a will? Find out at GutmanLaw.com. What is a living trust, and do you need this? Find out at GutmanLaw.com. What about a power of attorney or probate? We'll get all the answers to your questions when you schedule a free attorney consultation at, GutmanLaw.com. It's Jordana, and I didn't know the first thing about wills, living trusts, estate planning, but I didn't need to. All I did was reach out to my friend Matt Gutman and his partner Jamie Ref Wagner. This is their focus: wills, trust, probate, estate plans. Now knowing that my loved ones will be taken care of no matter what helps me sleep at night. Don't wait until it's too late to get these things taken care of. You can schedule a free, no-hassle consultation right on the website. Say it with me, GutmanLaw.com. GutmanLaw.com, giving you peace of mind today for tomorrow. It's not just a slogan. I sleep better at night now that I have my estate plan in place. Thanks to Matt Gutman and Jamie.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Brought to you by Verizon Business. Going to find your slowdown. Cedar South is maker between 494 and Highway 13. South 35W jammed up across the Minnesota River Bridge as you head down to McAnder. South 169, slowdown's already in place for the afternoon. 494 as you head down to Old Shakopee Road. 694 jammed up both directions between 252 and Highway 10. Verizon Business experts love small businesses, so they come directly to you on your schedule. Real experts and members of your community learning firsthand about your unique business needs with expertise tailored to you. Make an appointment with a Verizon Business expert. Go to verizon.com/book today. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Mike Lynch here, and it goes without saying that Sweet Martha's cookies at the Minnesota State Fair are the best. But did you know you can have Sweet Martha's cookies year-round? That's right. Sweet Martha's cookie dough available in all kinds of flavors in the frozen food department of your favorite grocery store.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, CCO forecast time brought to you by our friends right next door to our booth, Sweet Martha's Cookies. Yes, who doesn't love Sweet Martha's? And who do you love more, Martha or Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer?
Any clouds will clear out tonight. Check out the full moon, a partial lunar eclipse. That moon will take on a reddish appearance as we fall back to 60 overnight. Clouds increase throughout the day tomorrow, another comfortable one with a high up around 84. We finally have some rain in the forecast. That would be early Saturday. The rest of the day, mostly cloudy, humid, and breezy with a high around 83.
Right now at the State Fairgrounds, honestly, this day, pretty close to perfect, right? Let's hear it. 81 degrees at the State Fair on CCO.
You're listening to News Talk 830 WCCO live at the fair. Presented by Lindus Construction, a single contractor and construction company for all your home improvement needs.
All right, we are live at the Minnesota State Fair, day one. We will be out here every weekday, 3 to 6, broadcasting live from the front porch, WCCO radio booth, brand new pergola. How do you guys feel about the shade? Lindus Construction. We're so grateful to Andy Lindus, the team. They're right over here. I mean, they'll build you one. Wouldn't you like one of these in your backyard? I mean, this may be a little larger, but it is built out of that TimberTech material, which I have on my deck in my backyard. It's about this size. I don't know about that.
You can't get too large.
No, that is true. That is true. Stephanie Shimp is with us from Blue Barn and Blue Plate Restaurant Group. When it comes to remodeling a deck or a patio or whatever, you always think you're like, well, I'm going to try to save some money, right? I don't want to go that big. And then afterwards, you're like,
But then you can't fit your furniture on,
That's
and you
right.
can't fit the planters on, and you're a little squished, and you really want to put a rug down, but you need the extra room. Go big.
Go big. Well, you guys had to make that decision when you built the Blue Barn, right?
Right.
So how many years ago did you build the Blue Barn you were really one of the anchor buildings in the new West End, which has become the new front door for the State Fair.
I still call it the new West End Market.
I know.
Yeah, we're right by the transit.
Is it 10 years, 15 years?
2014.
2014.
Yeah, so 13 fairs.
Yeah.
But do you count the COVID fair where we didn't have a fair
or whatever?
So 12, 13, whatever you want to say.
Yeah. It is amazing how, you remember the fair before we had that West End, right?
It was dirty and dusty, and over there it was like the blacksmith,
Cowboy Town,
yeah, Cowboy
Town
stuff. Yeah, exactly.
It's so nice now.
It's the Edina of the fair. It's the 50th in France of the fair.
I don't know. I was up at the North End, which is pretty fancy, but it's not quite as built out yet, right?
It's coming.
So this building, here's the other day on the show we were talking with the adorable couple that just launched the Summer Lakes Beach
Alyssa and they reached out to me. I had a nice meeting with them maybe in April or May.
Their building is so big, and I asked them, I'm like, this has to be at least, this is a 7-figure, this is $1 million. And then I saw it in person. I'm like, that might be $3 million.
Mine was this. Mine was almost $2 million in 2014.
So think about that, right? Like one of the things and one of the trends this year that I've seen from visiting New Foods is that $16 is sort of the new $12. So you're going to see a lot of $16 items at the fair. And part of that is if you're the Summer Lakes Beach Club, knowing what construction costs, whatever, like that building is at least a $2 million enterprise, at least. But you're like, you sort of have to price that in. And it's weird to get a loan for a building like that, right?
It's crazy to go to your bank and say you need a loan for a business that's only open 12 days a year and technically is on a year-to-year contract.
Right. Like
technically.
You have to be, you either have to have a Minnesota bank that understands what the state fair is or, that's probably it, right?
You need a community bank.
Yeah.
Yeah. Preferably a community local bank that gets it.
It's just so interesting, like trying to think about how crazy the financing of a building is, because the state fair owns the ground, but you pay for the building, right?
And you've got one shot. If they offer something to you, you have to take it. It's now or never, and it's worth it.
Steph Shimp with us for the Blue Barn. You have a new food this year,
mm-hmm.
Which do you feel like you have to have a new food every year?
I personally do. I think that's part of my brand.
Yeah. People expect that innovation.
They kind of do.
Sort of. Yeah.
So it's hard because you have to typically take something off of your menu to make room for a new food, lest you have a 45-item menu, which is impossible to cook.
So what did you take out for this year's food, which is corn ribs?
Crackling corn ribs. Yeah. We took out the peanut butter bacon pancakes.
Yeah.
Which were kind of a production nightmare.
Yeah.
Many, many steps to do that. Now this has a lot of steps too, but.
Because this year, and you have data, right? You know what people are ordering, so that helps to make the decision, right?
Yes.
But do you have like something that in your heart, no matter like what happens, you're like, I'm not taking this off the menu?
Well, I did bring you two of my favorites that, thank you for the intro, the lead in. I think will likely always be legacy items. The Nashville hot chicken on a stick.
Oh, it's so good.
Introduced in 2018. It did actually, both of these did not make the new food list when they were introduced.
Isn't that funny? Do you guys know the politics behind the new food list? So when the State Fair releases the official new food list, there are 34 to 36 items on that list, but you submit to get on the list and they decide if you get on the list or not, right?
Yeah. And since we serve breakfast, they often pick our breakfast selection.
Oh.
And we're one of the few vendors out here. Not many people out here do breakfast, but yeah, this 2018 Nashville hot chicken and stick was not a new food, but they said, hey, you can serve it anyway, which we did. And I think we sold 39,000 that year.
Wow.
People were coming back 2 and 3 times in a day to get it again.
And when you guys, like, you're breading this, right?
Yeah, it's cornflakes.
So it's just cornflakes.
Mm-hmm. Soaked in buttermilk overnight, little pickle juice, spices, skewered, then rolled in cornflakes.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. And that was an unofficial new food. So there are a lot of new food. Like, I think the total list of new foods, when you add in the unofficial, it's like 34 official plus 12,
whatever bonus foods,
12 or 14.
Well, same with I brought you a savory favorite and a sweet favorite, but the French toast was not selected as a new food. Dara wrote about it and raved about it maybe 2015, 2016, something like that.
Yeah.
And it was an unofficial, and that was, I don't think we'd coined the term bonus food or unofficial new food yet, but it was so popular. How could we not bring that back?
That is one of the things that I didn't think I was going to like, because it's like Pop Rocks on French. It just, to me, felt like sweet on sweet on sweet. And then the first time I had it, like, just the biggest smile on my face, because there's just such, like, the fair should be fun. I think we've gotten a little too, like, shishi and fancy with the food. Like, no disrespect to our friends across the street, shakshuka lamb meatballs is delicious. And the shakshuka was delicious. But it feels a little like I should have a white tablecloth or a breakfast cup of coffee. And it's just kind of, there's a lot of things where I'm like, is this too fancy?
Well, I look at it like this. We are feeding all of Minnesota. And so I try to find something that appeals to people like yourself who live in the metro, who go to shishi restaurants and appreciate food and probably cook at home too, and the folks I grew up with in the outstate who don't have access to restaurants like that and maybe don't cook the way we do. And I try to make my food approachable for my outstate, like I do with my cousins. Like, will my cousins like this? And then I think, will Steph March, will Dara, will DeRusha like this? And if I can kind of intersect those in that Venn diagram, I'm winning.
Then you won.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Let's break in just a minute. I want to talk about some of the new drinks. We've got some drinks that some of the folks in the crowd, if they want to try out some of the new beverages, because the way people drink at the State Fair has changed big time. And Blue Barn used to be known for beer.
The way people drink has changed.
It has. We'll talk about all that when we come back. Live at the State Fair, Steph Shimp with us on the front porch here on News Talk 830 WCCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha, live at the fair, presented by Andy's Grill. Hey, if you're heading out to the Great Minnesota Get-Together, be sure to meet at Andy's.
All right, Jason here for Tureen Dermatology. I tell you who would be so thrilled at this incredible pergola. It would be my buddy, Dr. Bohiba Tureen. There's no question about it. Because the sun at the State Fair, look, our body, we need sun, we need sun exposure, but too much sun not only is a cause for skin cancer, but it's the exposure to those UV rays could be one of the top causes of wrinkles, sunspots, of early aging. Tureen Dermatology, I mean, the solution is simple on the front end, right? Wear a hat, wear sunscreen. But the other part of that equation, especially as you get older, is making sure you have a full body skin checkup with an expert like Dr. Bohiba Tureen. I visit Dr. Tureen in Roseville. And the people at Tureen Dermatology are amazing. There are 12 different offices. So they're in Eagan, they're in Lakeville now. They got a couple spots in western Wisconsin. They're just growing all over the place. But one of the great things about Tureen Dermatology is that you can get in within 3 weeks. A lot of dermatologists, I don't know if you guys have ever called to try to get an appointment at your dermatologist. It can take 2, 3, 4 months. TurinDermatology.com. You can make your appointment online right now, and they'll get you in within 3 weeks. Tell them you heard about it on Drive Time with DeRush.
Colonial craftsmen knew their stuff. The Colonial Collection is available in multiple sizes with all the storage pieces your bedroom might need.
A queen low footboard bed is Craftsman direct price from $29.45 or $123 a month for 24 months.
We could use this, but it's just a
Museum quality for mummies and everyone.
Oh, Jim. Barufkas, no gimmicks, haggling, or hard-to-understand pricing in Woodbury and Birdsville.
Decidedly American.
It's hard because we're all on Wi-Fi. Best summer ever. Jason here for Luther Kia of Bloomington, and Luther Kia of Bloomington wants to upgrade your ride. Outstanding prices. $399 a month. Sign and drive lease offers on Celtos, Sportage, Nero, and K5. Get out of here. Plus $750 owner loyalty cash. So long, I was like, there were a lot of places where I just best cars for the money on the market. Check out their brand new facility, now open at 35W and 494. Luther Kia. Is it still that?
This State Fair season, the best deal isn't on the fairgrounds. It's at Chanhassen Dinner Theaters, where Broadway's best musicals come to life. And here's a winning State Fair deal for free dinner when you purchase a ticket for the sizzling blockbuster Guys and Dolls, or on selected dates for Annie. You must order by September 10th, but don't wait. Call the box office or visit chanhassendt.com/fair26 and grab your seats today for Guys and Dolls, closing soon, or Annie, opening in October.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where supplies start at just 25 cents?
Staples has the latest laptops with up to 40% savings.
I may hug the cashier.
So embarrassing.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples with up to 40% off select tech. Staples.
That was easy.
Visit Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Things are slow for westbound 94 Franklin Avenue into downtown Minneapolis. North 35W slows into downtown as well as you come up from about 42nd Street. 169 jammed up both directions between Highway 55 and Highway 7. USPS Ground Advantage reliable route, that's 494 westbound, free-flowing Bailey Road over to the Minnesota River Bridge. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, CCO forecast tonight. Beautiful. Full moon, partial lunar eclipse. I'll be looking at it. I'm not going to tell anyone because it's embarrassing if you're a lunar eclipse nerd. Low of 60. Tomorrow, a little cloudier than today, high of 84. Saturday, rain early. So if you have a raincoat, come to the State Fair early on Saturday, high of 83. Right now, it's beautiful, 81 and sunny on CCO.
The best deal at the fair? Well, it's not inside the Blue Ribbon Bargain Book. It's free water. Served daily at our CCO building. Thanks to our friends at Culligan. Your water, pure, clean, and safe.
Great crowd with us underneath this nice pergola. We have shade now, Steph, so the crowd is here during our show, which is... Or maybe my show is finally good. It's just taken 4 years to get people to come and watch. I don't know.
They're here.
They're here. It is great. Let's talk about the way people drink. Because the way people drink in general, you know from your Blue Plate restaurant group that people are drinking less beer and more what?
People are drinking less beer. Let's start with this. People are drinking alcohol less overall.
Period.
All
ages.
All ages, I think, is down. Beer is down both locally, regionally, as well as nationally. We're definitely selling more cocktails than beer.
Interesting.
And then the THC market has changed the beer scene as well. I mean, as you see, all of the local brewers are making THC beverages.
Yeah.
That's by they need to, by design.
You here at the fair have seen a lot of innovation when it comes, because you're not allowed to do spirits. So, but you're trying to tap into the fact that people want cocktails, right?
Right. So
what is this right here that I've got?
This is our espresso. So our riff on an espresso martini. So an espresso teeny slushy. And it's pretty.
Oh, that's good.
It's a little boozy. It's booze forward, I would say.
But it's only like 7%.
Right. And it's from a neutral base that.
So technically it's like a beer
sugar,
sugary thing.
Sugar, made from sugar. Or if you think about if you de-alcoholized beer, what you would have left.
So silly. They should, well, I don't know. Maybe you don't want people drinking 40% alcohol like a fully loaded cocktail at the state fair, but
there's probably some logic there.
Yeah, maybe so.
But yeah, this slushy machine, and then we do a cold foam topper on it. So again, you have to garnish. You have to level everything up.
That's very, very good. Now, the drink that I thought was unbelievable is the Hugo Spritz.
So my daughter comes home from a semester abroad last year, and she's like, "Mom, Hugo Spritz, they're everywhere. You've got to get a Hugo Spritz." She's like, "If no one's doing one at the fair, that's your drink." And you know what? I think she's right. The elderflower, the mint, it's refreshing. I mean, this just is summer in a glass.
Yeah. It's a home run. It's so good.
And we work with Rustic Roots Winery. They're up in Scandia, and they, kegged for us. And Marco Zappia over at Tres Leche helped us with our, I would say, addition or flavoring, and to get that elderflower flavor without using the elderflower liqueur, because we can't use that. Right.
But you can figure out other ways to recreate. It's interesting.
And Marco Zappia, I know you know him. He's a
genius.
mad scientist genius.
Yeah, it's delicious. The couple of you guys, you have the espresso martini. What do you think?
It's good.
Oh, they're real happy. Yeah. Awesome. I got a good awesome over there. That's perfect. And we've got the Hugo Spritz back there. Yeah. All right. It's good to get a little endorsement from other people, because today I probably sampled 25 new foods and probably 10 new beverages. Not a lot. I'll dig into the new beverages tomorrow if I make it through the night after trying 25 new foods today.
And the eclipse.
And the eclipse. Oh,
And the eclipse.
There's going to be a big eclipse party at the DeRusha Maple Grove House today. That's for sure. This is another state fair without your longtime partner, best friend, David. Is it easier?
It's easier because it's not front and center in every single person that I talk to.
Yeah.
And I've got one done now, so that's a little bit easier. But the creative process without him, so this was the first time I went through the creative process on my own, and I miss that back and forth. I miss someone pushing me, challenging my ideas, and just a different flavor palette. And Stephanie, how's the process going to work on that? There's so many other ways we miss him out here too.
Of course, yeah.
But it's I had a little bit of water leaked out of my eye the other day out here, and that happens. But he's here. He's with us.
It is amazing to me when I see how much of a family story the state fair is. And when you started this years ago, you told me that you hope that maybe the fair would pay for your kids' college.
Yeah.
And now your kids are.
Now my kids are in college. I have a senior, almost, a couple credits left to graduate senior, and I have a son who's a sophomore.
Yeah.
And
our kids are the exact same spot. So my senior is graduating in December. Mm-hmm. How do we have kids old enough to be graduating college?
Well,
it's disgusting to me. I'm not happy about it.
When I opened here at the fair, my kids were 8 and 10.
Yeah.
They were tiny, and Grandma had to come stay and help get them off to school. And I'm sure, you were doing mornings, I bet, back then, right?
Yeah.
And, I'd try to stay home on that first day until 8 o'clock and snap the picture and send them off in their backpacks. But yeah, now they're in college. And now I have to figure out how to send them to college with their backpacks.
Right. Yes, it's hard when you
it's
have
almost,
stuff.
This is harder.
We're mean. We just make our kids go back. See ya.
My son drove back on his own. He's in Indiana. He's a Hoosier, and he packed up last Thursday, and 5:59 a.m. he was out of here.
I dropped Sam at the airport and sent him to L.A. and said, good luck.
The seconds, I think, are, and I mean, my seconds.
Oh, yeah.
It's easier to send them off, I think.
Sam's thriving.
Yeah.
Maybe too much. And Seth is now
he's
that he's
here. I saw him, right?
Yeah, now that he's 21, he's walking around the fair with a friend of mine who is definitely a bad influence. So Seth is like, I have a ride home. What's the big deal? Make sure you go visit the Blue Barn. And also, it is a time when restaurants still need to see you. So if you're at home listening to this, Stephanie would love to see you at the Blue Plate restaurants too.
Please come to the Free House in the North Loop.
Yes. It's great.
Downtown needs you.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Big Twins weekend with the White Sox in town, so the Free House patio should be hopping. So,
and I think we have the best patio downtown.
So
we have trees
in the North Loop. It's awesome. Thanks, Steph. Continental Diamond time check 3:58. Time to get to continentaldiamond.com. More for the fair straight ahead.
I'm not one to say I told you so, but I switched to Pure Talk over a year ago, and ever since I've been telling people there's no better wireless company out there. Well, a few months ago, a massive survey was conducted. 123,000 people were asked to rate their wireless carrier in 4 categories: coverage, support, data, and overall value. Well, the results are in. Guess which wireless company was the only wireless company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. 5 stars, every category. To celebrate, Pure Talk is offering the first 3 months of any plan for just $15 a month, including their top-tier unlimited plan. No contract, no commitment, just a very inexpensive way to test drive the only American wireless company with 5 stars in every category. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will take it from there. Again, pound 250 micro. And yes, I told you so.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
What's news? What's noise? Discover the difference here. News Talk 830 WCCO 1029 HD2 Minneapolis, St. Paul.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Rescues continue across Nepal and Tibet following catastrophic mudslides and flooding throughout a popular tourist valley. More than 380 people have died, according to Nepali police, and at least 1,300 are missing following those mudslides that triggered by a glacier melt and flooding. ABC's Tom Sufi Burridge has more.
We know the area was at risk to this type of thing in the past, but everyone is saying that nothing on this scale, nothing with this type of catastrophic impact, the scale of the water that built up. We've been told by one expert that the kind of wave-like wall of water which came crashing down could have been as high as about 150 feet.
A State Department spokesperson says some 90 Americans may be impacted by the flooding. President Trump says the U.S. is sending aid. The president today signing an executive order to change the name, he says, of Lake Ontario to Lake America. It's the latest escalation in the trade tiff with Canada. Here's ABC's Karen Travers.
He said Canada treats us very badly. The Canadian tariffs, of course, that they announced in retaliation to the ones the president put in place over the weekend, they don't go into effect until September 8th. So, of course, there is a bit of time potentially to see if there was a potential for some conversations to restart. We had State heard from the vice president the other day that there were ongoing negotiations, despite other officials here at the White House indicating that the time for talking was over.
The judge in the Kennedy Center case hearing arguments today on the Justice Department's filing arguing that the Performing Arts Center needs renovations or could face demolition, and that President Trump's name needs to be on the facade to help with fundraising. The judge has not made a decision. And the first day of deliberations concluding in the Lindsay Clancy trial, the Massachusetts mother is charged with killing her 3 children. Defense attorneys say she suffered from postpartum psychosis. Deliberations resume tomorrow. You're listening to ABC News.
In a recent
Minnesota's trusted voice, every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Mostly sunny, 81 degrees at 4:02. I'm Laura Oakes. Pearl Park in Minneapolis has transformed into a hub of kindness on the 1-year anniversary of the Annunciation School shooting.
The park is filled by rows of fresh green plants waiting to go into the soil here at the park, while volunteers eagerly pack school supplies for students that have been donated by the community. And volunteers are also helping to pack homeless youth care kits. Community volunteer with Avenues for Youth, Tom Bond, helped put together the event and shared what it was like working with students and the Annunciation community.
For a student specifically to say, let's help somebody on a day like today, kind of sends a chill down my spine, to be honest with you. And more than anything, we're just honored to be part of that healing process.
At Pearl Park, I'm Taylor Rivera, News Talk 830. WCCO.
Minneapolis police say they are now investigating the July death of a 54-year-old man as a homicide. Abdulwahab Issi was found dead on Nicollet Avenue in a Nicollet Avenue apartment July 8th after police responded to a report of a possible overdose. He was pronounced dead at the scene. After an exam, the Hennepin County Medical Examiner has now determined the cause of death to be a homicide. There have been no arrests and the investigation is ongoing. An ICE agent charged in an Operation Metro Surge shooting in Minneapolis has been released from a Brownsville, Texas jail. It comes after a federal judge denied Minnesota's request for Christian Castro to be extradited back to Hennepin County to face charges. Pronto Pups, plenty of pickles, and of course politics on this first day of the Minnesota State Fair. U.S. Senator and gubernatorial candidate Amy Klobuchar stopped by the WCCO radio booth, telling Susie Jones on the WCCO Morning News local farmers are getting slammed by unpredictable tariffs with Canada.
We've also seen a 20% decline in tourism, which is really difficult for northern Minnesotans because that's where a lot of their customers come from. So as governor, I'm going to stand up and explain this what's going on here.
Klobuchar's challenger, Republican House Speaker Lisa Dameth, is scheduled to appear at the WCCO radio booth on Tuesday, September 1st. Just in time for school, a new survey shows Minnesotans are spending more for back-to-school supplies.
Families are shelling out between $850 and $1,000 per household on clothing, shoes, supplies, and technology. President of Minnesota Retailers, Bruce Newstead, says there are various factors for the rise in spending.
Inflation and tariffs, but thinking of costs of transportation, we're kind of in the middle of the country. We're away from the ports, so ultimately you tend to see just a little bit of a price difference, especially when transportation costs are up.
And just because school starts doesn't mean the spending stops.
Families used to buy their new shoes and jeans in June and July, and now you're seeing kind of some families wait until after Labor Day even, and maybe even into October to see if there's some kind of postseason deals.
Ari Bergeron, News Talk 830 WCCO.
And WCCO News Time is 4:05.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Traffic around the State Fair is on the heavy side. Snelling Avenue between Energy Park Drive and Larpenteur, the busiest stretch. Como Avenue is jammed up between Raymond Avenue and Snelling, and Larpenteur is a bit congested as you make way towards Snelling Avenue as well. And as far as the park and ride lots go, the free park and ride lots, they're basically all reported full, and lots on the north side, very limited spaces available for the most part. It's full. There is parking available on the south side. If you're going to be traveling Cedar South, that's jammed up 494 down to the area of the area of Cliff Road. South 35W jammed up 106th Street to Highway 13. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
With a well-designed will, trust, and estate plan, you can have peace of mind. Choose Matt Gutman of Gutman Law to give yourself peace of mind. Call him now, 612-895-1616 at gutmanlaw.com. Gutman Law, peace of mind today for tomorrow.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by Gutman Law, Wills, Trusts, and Probate Law. Find them at gutmanlaw.com. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
A lovely evening and a clear sky tonight. That's great news to see the partial lunar eclipse that starts after 9 o'clock and peaks just after 11. 60 the overnight low. Clouds are going to increase throughout the day tomorrow. Should be a little warmer with a high near 84. Rain showers expected early on Saturday. The rest of the day will be mostly cloudy and muggy. Breezy as well with a high around 83.
Beautiful right now. Mostly sunny, low humidity, 81 degrees at News Talk 830 WCCO.
We are news. We are talk. We are News Talk 830 WCCO. Good questions. Topics you'll probably talk about at dinner. Places to go for dinner. This is the Ride Home Reimagined. Welcome to Drive Time with DeRusha. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington. Now, here's Jason DeRusha.
We are at the fair. Look at this great crowd out here. So nice to have you here at the Minnesota State Fair. We love this new pergola that we have at our booth, and I think our fans are loving it too because you get a little bit of shade. It's a beautiful day at the Minnesota State Fair, but the sun comes beating down in here right at the middle of the day. So we're glad that our friends at Lindis Construction, they just put this thing up. We've been begging for it for years, and last year Andy Lindis was like, we could do that. And we're like, let's do it. So it looks awesome. So we appreciate the Lindis team for putting that up. We appreciate you guys being here at the State Fair. I love the State Fair. This is my 23rd year. I guess 22nd State Fair, right? We had that COVID year where it wasn't, we did like the drive-through State Fair or whatever weirdness. We're not counting that one. So maybe this is fair number 22 for me. For a first day, though, doesn't it feel like, are you guys, make noise. How many of you always are here on day one? All right. How many of you think the crowd this year is bigger than normal? Make noise. Yeah. It's better when they make noise. On the radio, a show of hands is never very effective. It's not very good. Well, we're glad that you're here. We're glad you suffered through the traffic or the stuffed parking lot or whatever the case may be to be out with us here on the WCCO radio front porch. I'm excited to bring in my friend who is the CEO of Second Harvest Heartland. Sarah Moberg is with us on the front porch. Sarah, it's so good to see you.
Thank you, Jason. It's great to be here.
You are here to talk a little bit about hunger, but I have to ask you about the fair because you are a Minnesotan. You've lived here for how long?
I am a lot of years.
Decades. And do you like coming to the fair? It is a safe space. There are listeners at home who do not love the crowds. You're allowed to be honest. How do you feel about the State Fair?
So my sweet spot at the State Fair is like 8 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Before all the people are here.
It is.
Yeah.
The wide open streets. You can start to just see them, see the people gather, and the foods, the smells are just getting going. I just think that's a beautiful time of the day.
I do miss, though, that part of my old job of anchoring the morning news when I would get out here at 4 a.m. and they had just freshly washed the streets and you don't have the full stench of cheese curd throughout the grounds yet. But there's something special about waking up with the 4-H kids in the early morning of the animal barns and all of that. It's pretty cool stuff. Right now, we know that throughout Minnesota, a lot of kids are going back to school. And a lot of kids are already back to school. And I wanted to ask you about hunger and school-age kids. Because we know in Minnesota, the law was changed that allowed for taxpayer-funded, free school lunch and breakfast for everyone. And I will tell you, when my kids were going to public school, I was grateful that at a time that we had a budget surplus, that my family got something back out of the deal. And I love that everybody doesn't have to worry about, what if my income dips below this level, or, oh no, I got a job, now I got to do this. Like, it just takes it out of there. I know it's controversial, but to me, it shouldn't be. It's sort of a no-brainer. When you look at this time of year, is this better for families with kids in hunger because they are back to school and have those meals taken care of?
Yeah, I mean, we know that right now Minnesotans are struggling. And you think about the high costs, you think about the reduced benefits, whether it's SNAP or Medicaid, all of that is driving more traffic into food shelves. More people are looking for help. We also know that those rates of hunger are actually greater in households with children. And so when you think about the value of school meals, it's real. And summer hunger is something we are always concerned about. And so you're absolutely right that going back to school in this season, it's a great thing for our kiddos.
The unfortunate side of that is the reality that all of us know, right? That food is expensive. Food is expensive. Groceries are expensive. I can afford it. I'm fine. And I feel it. And so I know that people who are on the edge are feeling it right now. You and Second Harvest Heartland have done a ton of research on this, so we have a better handle on what we're talking about. But how severe is the need when it comes to being able to afford food right now?
Well, we know that 1 in 5 Minnesota households cannot afford the food they need.
So you guys hear that, 1 in 5, like that is a staggering number of people who they got to figure it out some other way, right?
They have, and some are skipping meals. Some are experiencing hunger. Some might be giving their meal to their child. We sometimes hear that the nutritional quality of a diet goes down. We know that in a tight budget, groceries are often the first thing that families will cut back on.
I personally had to sort of shift my understanding as to what hunger was, because I don't know, we're around the same age. A lot of you who grew up in the time where you were watching these like super sad commercials on TV, right? Like, I will remember you. Just very sad, starving kids, whatever. And the truth is, in Minnesota, that extreme level is not the main way that people experience what we're talking about when we're talking about hunger. It's the skipping meals. It's the, I guess I can't fill this prescription at the end of the month, or I can't buy a pair of shoes for my kid who has holes in the soles of their shoes. It's those kind of decisions. It's generally not that people are literally going without food.
Yeah, I mean, we like to say that hunger is often hidden, and it's hidden in the shadows. And so
I didn't know really until I started digging in.
That's right. And so we always try to think about that number, that 1 in 5, and knowing that it is even greater than that for households with kids or households where English may be a second language. And so we work really hard with food shelf partners to increase the accessibility of nutritious food, produce, proteins, dairy, so that families can find the help that they need when they need it.
And we're talking with Sarah Moberg, the CEO of Second Harvest Heartland, the huge food bank that distributes foods and sort of coordinates the whole system to all those food shelves that are in your neighborhood, in your communities. When you look at the challenges people are facing, how much of this is the same stuff everybody's dealing with? Sort of the economy factors, the gas, the grocery costs going up, and how much of it has to do with like policy type stuff, cuts to SNAP or to Medicare?
Yeah, both play a role. And so certainly the rising costs, we know that squeezes an already tight budget for some families. And we know that policy changes, that we have had people here in Minnesota that have fallen off SNAP, fallen off Medicaid, and that puts increased pressure on those already tight budgets.
All right, we're at the state fair where obviously food is everywhere. Second Harvest Heartland is teaming up with the state fair as well to deal with some of that. Tell me about that partnership.
Well, we are so excited this year to be able to partner with the state fair to rescue excess food. So when the festivities are done, the booths are closed, we are going to be here the very next day with a refrigerated truck alongside a couple other food shelves who are bringing refrigerated trucks. We're going to collect the excess. We're hoping for apples and corn, protein, dairy, maybe some paper products. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we're going to get that right out into the community.
That's so cool. That's so cool. We're so grateful that you guys are doing that and have that involvement because we know there's excess food and it's difficult. You do this with grocery stores already, right? With corporate partners throughout our community, and you're able, through your sort of network of trucks and delivery system. This is sort of the boring stuff, right? The logistics, supply chain, warehousing, but all of this stuff is how we make sure our neighbors get food.
It is. And one of the things
you love the boring stuff, though. That's your background, right?
It is.
Sarah spent a long time working for she part of her job was dressing up like the Golden Graham. So outside of General Mills, she had to dress up like a giant Golden Graham and hand out samples. And then most of your job was more behind the scenes boring stuff, right?
Yeah, Jason may be embellishing a little bit here, but we've come to expect that. And what I would say is, I mean, just look at around you here at the State Fair. The number of vendors, like I said, we've got over 200 that are planning to partner with us at this rescue operation after Labor Day. And the logistics of the State Fair, that's like elite level. And rescuing that food and getting it out into our community, that is also next level coordination.
Yeah.
And we are so proud and excited to be partnering with the State Fair to do that.
All right, a couple things I want people to think about over the next couple of days, really, because September, some people know, some people don't. I'm on the board of directors of Second Harvest Heartland, which is one of the coolest things that in my life I've been asked to be a part of. And so I'm so grateful to help in any way I can. But September 1st is Hunger Action Month, so people will start hearing more, right, about ways they can step up and help people out.
Yeah, having Hunger Action Month, it really provides an opportunity for everyone to get involved. And that can look like financial donations, volunteer time, using your voice to advocate for smart hunger fighting policies. So many ways to get involved this month.
Cool. And then in October, you and I are going to be hosting a big fundraiser, too. So that'll be good. You guys hit the bottom of the barrel. They're like, well, I guess we'll make DeRusha host this thing this year. So
we are excited to have you, Jason.
It'll be good. Sarah, thanks for all you do. I think all of us, no matter what your politics are, we all want everybody to be able to take care of their family. And that's what you worry about every day.
That's right. We know that food has the power to unite us, and that is what we need right now.
Yes, it does right here at the State Fair, right? Although, like, which your favorite food is maybe divides us, but the food itself brings us together. Sarah Moberg from Second Harvest Heartland. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
4:19, we're going to break a couple of minutes. Sort of surprising new data about retirement that just came out. Have you pushed back your retirement date? 651-461-9226. I was shocked at how many Americans who have had to slide that date. I'm pushing it, but I'm trying not to push it back. I'm trying to push it the other way. Keep listening live for the State Fair here on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha, live at the fair, presented by Andy's Grill. Hey, if you're heading out to the great Minnesota get-together, meet at Andy's.
All right, out here at the State Fair, it's hard not to think about our great farmers every corner of this state. And you know that I'm a proud partner of our friends at the Minnesota Pork Board. It's Jason here with an invitation to get on over to the Oink booth, because I'm a little disappointed. I haven't seen enough of those little pig ears walking around the state fairgrounds today. You can get your Oink Booth pig ears, but more importantly, you can get a chance to talk with one of the great farmers that work so hard every corner of this state in Minnesota to take care of their pigs, take care of their people, and take care of our water, our soil. I know a lot of people, when you think about pig farming, maybe you have different ideas like giant, huge production. But in Minnesota, it's families. 3,000 families operate each one of these farms. And a lot of these farmers that we've had on the show that we've met over the years are second, third, fourth, even fifth generation family farmers. They care about the same things you do. So go get that pork chop on a stick. Go to your grocery store and get that pork loin, or maybe, I saw at the grocery store the other day this just massive pork shoulder. You might call it a pork butt. It's up to you. Nobody cares. Just get to that grocery store, get that butcher shop. Let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight.
Twin City Framers is the industry leader building the largest wood frame projects in town, and they have immediate openings for carpenters. Here's the deal. Large multifamily carpentry pays an average of $5 an hour more than single-family homes. This is your opportunity to work for the best of the business and make more money today. If you're a carpenter or know someone looking for better pay, better hours, great benefits, and on-the-job training, then look no further. Go online to TwinCityFramers.com and apply for an immediate position today. That's TwinCityFramers.com.
You know that feeling when your body is tired, but your brain just won't shut off? We've all been there. Jordana here. That's where CBN comes in. CBN, short for cannabinol, is a naturally occurring hemp cannabinoid known for its relaxing, sleepy effects. Think of it like the lights dimming signal for your brain. While CBD helps you stay calm, CBN helps your body know it's time to rest. That's why we call it CB Night Night. Mini Leaf Night and Night Plus Sleep Gummies combine CBN, CBD, and CBG to help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer, and then wake up feeling refreshed. Go to minileaf.com, MINNELEAF.com. And here's big news. If you need your product today, there's no wait. Stop into any of the 16 top 10 liquor locations for better sleep tonight.
Back to school starts now. Get long-lasting battery life on the Dell XPS laptop powered by Series 3 Intel Core so you can work from anywhere. Now starting at $699 with exclusive student pricing starting at $599. Complete your setup with savings on select monitors and must-have electronics and accessories. Limited time deals and free shipping on PCs and more await you at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Courtesy of Lindus Construction, where you can get free installation labor on Leaf Guard brand gutters during the fair. We're live at the Great Minnesota Get Together on News Talk 830 WCCO.
So many familiar faces, so many friends, longtime listeners. We love it when you come up and say hi. Comedy legend Brandy Brown, everybody over there. Everyone's like, what? Huh? Another comedy legend in the stands as well. He doesn't know he's a comedy legend, but if you listen from noon to 3, you know the situation. So here is the thing. A lot of us, everybody wants to retire, right? I love work, but I would prefer to not work, right? How many of you in the crowd are retired right now? Make noise. We can't hear your hand in the air. There we go. All right, a lot of retired people. Somebody who should retire. Brutal. So, when does this show get better? I mean, my wife has been asking, when does this marriage get better for 20-some years? The answer is still, keep waiting. It may happen. You never know. New report out today looking at the number of people who have pushed back their retirement date. So my question is, what is the perfect perfect age to retire? 651-461-9226. Seth DeRusha is in the crowd. He is 21. Seth, if I were to ask you the perfect retirement year, what would that be?
think like 60.
Retire at 60. Do you believe as a 21-year-old that it is likely that you will retire at 60?
I think for me, yeah. I think.
Why are you so confident that you'll have the money to retire at 60?
I believe in myself.
Wow. Misplaced confidence is genetic. So I think I also like 60 for me. Do you think I'll retire at 60?
No, I think you like working.
But I also like not working. You think no?
I think you're not working is kind of working. Like it's like going to restaurants and like reviewing.
Yeah. So in your mind, I'll never retire?
I think you'll always do like social media, which is like kind of working for you.
Yeah, for sure. Like that is work, but it's also fun. But yeah, it's sort of a job. I guess it's work.
Yeah.
I think that, how about the crowd? Like how many of you retired at 55 or younger? Make noise. All right, a couple. Yeah. How about 60 and younger? So 65 and younger? That's a lot more. More than a third of workers say their retirement age has moved later. Cost of living. I think there's one reason, and people always make up a lot of nonsense about this, what other reasons are. I think it's simple. It's healthcare, right? Isn't that why people work longer than they want to work? Like, is it because of the cost of living, blah, blah, blah? I don't think so. I think it's 100% healthcare. And it is one of those things that I feel like we haven't figured it out. Part of it is, of course, that our healthcare is linked to our job. And in a lot of countries, that's not the bit. Let's read the text, 651-461-9226. I retired when I was 62. 66, says another texter. This is interesting. I'm now 77 and very busy. I should have retired at 62. Another says, standard of living is the primary driver. I'm 67 and I'm still working full time. Retirement kind of scares me a bit with how expensive everything is right now. I think that's right. I'm a little afraid of retirement. Like what am I going to do all day? Like I can't just sit on Twitter and fight with the trolls all day. I could, I guess, like this. It's not good. Let's break in just, do you want to chime in? Dan's going to get the microphone for you. Dan's on it.
Okay. You know who this is, right?
Barb Rule. It's Barb Rule. She's hi, Heather. I would have known if I saw Heather over there. Barb Rule is a frequent YouTube audience member. Our YouTube audience is very upset today, Barb, because the cameras are a little blurry. We're on like the State Fair Wi-Fi, so we're doing our best. But you're on the stream right now. Go ahead.
So really, do moms ever retire? I don't think so.
Do moms ever retire? A mom never retires. That is fair. Barb is right. Andrew says most likely the majority of us millennials will be 6 feet under before we retire. I do think I was interested that Seth is confident that he's going to retire because everything I've read is that young people think they're never going to be able to retire. Seth's like, I'm about 6 beers in at the State Fair today. I'm real confident that I'm going to retire. All right, let's take a break. It's fair. It's fair and accurate. That's what this show is. In just a minute, we're going to have, what do we have? Oh, Joe Tamburino is next. Oh my gosh, do we have a lot to talk about with Joe Tamburino, who one of our YouTube commenters said yesterday, best lawyer in town, Joe Tamburino. How about that? Joe's going to come and chime in. I want to know his thoughts on the Texas governor refusing to send an ICE agent that was charged with lying to investigators and with, I believe, a second-degree type assault charge. Texas released that agent from jail this morning. What does Joe think about that? Plus, new details in the appeal document that Derek Chauvin just filed, something that Joe wants to talk to you about. So we'll do that in just a minute. Live from the fair here on CCO.
Courtesy of Lindus Construction, where you can get free installation labor on Leaf Guard brand gutters during the fair. We're live at the Great Minnesota Get-Together on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Why is the corn dog stand always closest to the exit? Who really controls the daily parade route? And how deep does the butter sculpture ring go? This year, News Talk 830 WCCO is blowing the lid off the biggest cover-up in Minnesota history, the Deep State Fair. We'll be live every day uncovering the hidden truths fairgoers were never meant to hear. Join WCCO at the Minnesota State Fair. The truth is out there, probably near the dairy barn.
The U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America is bringing you free concerts across the Twin Cities August 27th through September 1st, featuring the Air Force's Jazz Ensemble. For locations, visit afbandtix.org. That's afbandtix.org.
Gear up this fall with the new All-Pro battery by Steel. Tackle any task with 60% more peak power. Exclusively available only at your local Steel dealer. 60% peak power comparison between AP300PC and AP300S.
Do you have cracks in your basement walls, bowing walls, or settling foundation? Standard Water Control Systems is the #1 basement foundation repair contractor in Minnesota and Wisconsin. With highly trained teams of veteran employees and no subcontractors, Standard Water can repair your basement foundation. Need basement waterproofing? Standard Water has installed thousands of waterproofing systems since 1977. Locally owned with a 4.9 Google rating, you can't go wrong. Schedule your free foundation consultation at standardwater.com.
Mike Rowe here with another fun fact. If your concrete is cracked or uneven, you can actually lift it back up. Whether it's a sinking driveway, a patio, or a sidewalk, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys. They're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to lift your concrete slabs. Innovative Basement Authority is now Groundworks. Schedule a free inspection.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Welcome to Verizon Small Business Days as a business expert meets Patty of Patty's Diner. They're looking through Patty's tech and plans, and Patty scores great deals on business internet and One Talk, plus a free 5G phone. Score a meeting with a Verizon business expert August 17th to the 30th. Call 1-800-483-4428 or go to verizon.com/SMB days. Available for select 5G phones. New line device payment agreement and MyBiz plan with $5 a month add-on spending required. Applicable credit applied to account over agreement term up to 36 months. Terms apply. Offer ends 8/30/2026.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
Brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Why pay full insurance when you can customize and save? Switch to Liberty Mutual and they'll customize your auto and home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Brought to you in part by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. You're going to find a crash working West Metro, North 100 near County Road 81. This one with injuries. Driver down to a single lane, getting by off to the right shoulder and right lane. Things are packed and stacked as you come up from Duluth Street. 169, certainly an alternate to consider. That's a bit sluggish towards Make 14 Cedar Lake Road and Highway 55, but beyond that, not a bad ride up to 610. West 94 slows past 169, heading over to Weaver Lake Road. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Mike Lynch here, and it goes without saying that Sweet Martha's cookies at the Minnesota State Fair are the best. But did you know you can have Sweet Martha's cookies year-round? That's right. Sweet Martha's cookie dough available in all kinds of flavors in the frozen food department of your favorite grocery store.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Sweet Martha is bringing us the CCO forecast. Here is Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
Any clouds will clear out tonight. Check out the full moon, a partial lunar eclipse. That moon will take on a reddish appearance as we fall back to 60 overnight. Clouds increase throughout the day tomorrow, another comfortable one with a high up around 84. We finally have some rain in the forecast. That would be early Saturday. The rest of the day, mostly cloudy, humid, and breezy with a high around 83.
Sunny, 80 degrees. This is about as good as it gets at the Minnesota State Fair here on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha, live at the fair, presented by Andy's Grill. Hey, if you're heading out to the great Minnesota get-together, be sure to meet at Andy's.
All right, nice crowd out here at our CCO radio booth. How do you guys like the shade? Everybody likes the shade. Huge improvement this year. Chad Hartman literally took a bow before his show, taking full credit. Which, you know what? He deserves it. Chad was complaining about this for about a decade. And Andy Lindis last year was like, we can fix this because it's Lindis Construction. Of course they can fix it. So it's an awesome, awesome beast of a pergola here that has like controllable louvers on top so we can let a little sun in if we wanted. Pretty cool. Joe Tamburino is with us here. Let's hear it for Joe.
How you doing? Thanks for
Our
having me, Jason.
legal analyst, criminal defense attorney here in Minnesota. Joe, you like the shade, right?
Oh, yeah, this is a huge improvement because most of the time when we're here, people just get baked in the sun. This is great.
Joe is obviously an incredible attorney. What I don't know if you guys all know is that Joe is like a hardcore Minnesota State Fair fan.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What is it about the fair for you?
Well, it all started because of my wife was in the front row. She's been going to the fair since she was an infant, and now she's only, 27?
Right. Yeah.
And so that's what turned me on to it. And then we come usually about 4 or 5 times in that 10-day period.
Yeah.
Just love it.
It is funny, like my wife, who doesn't, I'm extroverted, she's introverted, big crowds, not her thing.
Mm-hmm.
She loves the fair. It's sort of interesting. Like she'll come out, we'll be out here Saturday together. Then she'll come out after work one night because the nighttime fair is sort of a different show, you know?
Oh, yeah. But it's good we come early in the morning sometime. We come now, afternoon, and we'll come at night. So early in the morning is great, too. You get great breakfast sandwiches. You can hit things before it gets too crowded.
Let me ask you, before I ask you about Texas, about the state fair, because I think it's been very interesting this year to see how aggressive the Ramsey County attorney has been, how aggressive Attorney General Keith Ellison have been at trying to use the civil law that Minnesota has to try to keep gangbangers out of the state fairgrounds.
Right.
What do you think about that approach?
I think it's a good approach. I mean, there's 2 prongs to it. One is, yes, you can go the civil route, which they've done, and they've done it successfully. And that always puts the other side, whoever's in a gang on notice. And then second, that has to be followed up with a robust law enforcement response. So if you have 2 of those, I think it'll work.
I will say, like, walking around the fair today, it's been impressive.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's a lot of law enforcement out here.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll be honest, like, the increase in sort of, I don't know what the right term, violent behavior, antisocial behavior at big gatherings, graduations, something like the state fair. It's a little alarming because it's one of those things where you feel like, all right, good police work can help prevent, something that's super planned out. But a lot of these public places, like, you can respond fast, but it's hard to get out in front of this stuff.
It is, and I think the police are doing a good job, but there's two reasons it's hard to get out in front. One is the light speed of social media, because you could have very, negative elements who are on chat lines, who have some type of social media outlet, when in a second they could say, all come to this location. And the second part of it is, the State Fair police, everyone here can only control what's happening on these grounds.
Right.
But you don't know if all of a sudden it bleeds 2 blocks away. You also have to worry about the periphery.
Yeah, people end up flocking to a scene where there's
Sure.
trouble, and how do you do it?
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
Joe Tamburino with us today in Texas. Really a surprising, I don't know if it's the conclusion to this story, but it might be. This Christian Castro, the ICE agent who has been held in Texas for 90 days. Minnesota had a warrant for his arrest. The Texas Rangers went out there and executed the warrant, brought him in. And the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, let the clock run out. And now Christian Castro, in the darkness of early morning today, was released from jail. And now what?
Well, a couple of things with that. One is it was surprising that, the court really didn't do anything about it. However, the court was legally good ruling in terms of its legal reasoning, because what the court said was the following, that, look, the extradition is still going on. However, you can't, Minnesota, point to some specific law that says I, as a judge, can force the governor to not run out the clock. Because what the governor is basically doing is he's saying, I'm not denying the extradition. I just want to investigate it more. I'm surprised at that, but legally, I don't think there's anything you could do with that judge's ruling. And the extradition, the warrant is still out there. So if Mr. Castro goes to, say, a neighboring state, Oklahoma, he could be arrested and go through the same process there.
But if you're a Castro, you just stay in Texas for the rest of your life and you're good to go.
Well, not so fast, because the extradition is still out there. He's just released from custody. So sooner or later, they're going to have to address this. Now, I don't know how long Governor Abbott's going to keep up this investigation, but sooner or later, it will have to conclude.
So, what do you mean? If he gets arrested for speeding, or if he gets pulled over for speeding, then he gets taken in again? Or
Not
what?
in Texas. Not in Texas. But the governor is going to have to finish this investigation at some point in the future.
Oh, so he has to conclude.
Yes, he's got to conclude it. That's right. Now, we don't know when that's going to happen. And in the interim, sure.
But could it be 10 years? I mean.
Well, no, I doubt it would be that, because there'll be another motion from there.
I see.
Because sooner or later, they're going to have to make a judgment in terms of this investigation. But the extradition is still going on.
One of the things that when you look at this nonsense and say, like, all right, what is this really about? And you look at social media, and Greg Abbott posted on X, basically he said, you guys are terrible lawyers, referring to Keith Ellison and the Minnesota effort, that they showed up unprepared, and maybe if they knew what they were doing, it would be a different story. Now, when you look at that sort of thing, it does say, like, all right, is that, what's really going on here? Is this
politics?
Yeah, it's politics. You don't know the law, and it showed. Minnesota is the literal definition of a sanctuary state because you refuse to assist in enforcing immigration laws. We're playing games here.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's games that could get into a dangerous area, because it is extremely important that states respect each other's warrants and extraditions. It happens every day in court, somewhere in the state and the country, where Minnesota says, we need this person from Wisconsin, or Michigan says, we need this person from Minnesota. And if games are going to start being played like that, you will have sometimes very violent people who never face justice in the state that wants them. So really, these games could get to a point where they're not games anymore. It's serious business.
Joe Tamburino with us live at the State Fair. The other big legal news this week is this settlement with Meta. Minnesota may get $300 million or so out of this $18 billion settlement. I guess I was a little surprised that Meta settled this thing, because the idea that, there's not a ton of evidence that social media alone is the cause of all of the things that were alleged in this court process.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess what? If you're Meta, you're just rolling the dice and saying like, it's not looking good for us. We may as well settle.
I mean, why not why not settle it? Because they settled it for almost $18 billion. Meta, according to what we know, makes $20 billion a month. It's a $1.5 trillion company.
Right.
So this is basically a nuisance type fee for them. And I think you and I have talked about this before on your program. The real way to get these internet companies to toe the line is to change what's called Section 230 of the Communications Act, the amendment in 1996, which said all of these internet companies are exempt, because right now you could be sued for what you say on the radio. You don't get exemption for that, but the internet companies do. So if they took that away, you'd get plaintiffs' attorneys out there who are suing them, and bingo, I could guarantee they would change their behavior.
Things would change.
Absolutely. Just like, think about it throughout history. We only have seat belts, and we only have, garage door openers that stop if someone's there. We only have kill switches on lawnmowers because of litigation. So if they did that to the internet, this kind of nonsense would stop.
Joe Tamburino and I sat throughout the entire trial of Derek Chauvin, watching every minute of it and streaming it live back when I was working at Channel 4. I am always fascinated to see what issues come up in the appeal process. And people may have heard that Chauvin is asking Minnesota to overturn his conviction. But part of the rationale why certainly rang a bell for me, because I knew I read something that you had written about this a couple of years ago. Talk about the issue that Chauvin's attorneys are raising right now.
Yes, I wrote about this in the Star Tribune over 3 years ago, which was about how a governor can take a case away from a county prosecutor. And the governor can, but you got to go through a process. So you could basically take it off from the local prosecutor, then you have to convene a grand jury, so on and so forth. That was never raised in the Chauvin trial. So I wrote about it afterwards, saying this was, a legitimate issue. However, at this point, the odds are so far against Mr. Chauvin. Whenever you come back to court after you're convicted, saying, after all your appeals, and you say, I want post-conviction relief, after you've gone to the Minnesota Court of Appeals, the Minnesota Supreme Court, and you've lost, the chances of you prevailing, just statistically, are very, very
low,
almost nil.
It is one of those things that to me, it's interesting that people are still relitigating this case and acting like they've discovered things that we sat through it. Like all of this was discussed at trial. I get the politics of it. I suppose I'm a little more surprised that if people were trying to find heroes in that case or people that maybe got screwed, the other officers in the scenario to me are way more sympathetic figures, where you're like, these other guys, whether you're on your third month on the job or whatever, like, to me, I look at those officers and think, all right, if you were going to make a big to-do out of something, those other officers to me are, I think as you look back on that, you're like, I think their emotions help drive some of those convictions.
I agree.
But Chauvin, come on.
I know. And, part of what you're talking about is, again, like social media, because now we have Elon Musk, who's coming out saying, Chauvin got a raw deal, and Elon's, richest man in the world. He's got a lot of money behind him. So, of course, he could keep this a hot button issue for the foreseeable future.
Right. What do we know? Elon's got Grok. He can just ask AI whatever happened.
I know. He can do whatever he wants. It's unbelievable.
Joe, we always appreciate your insight, and it's so good to see you here at the fair. Is there a concert or something you're super looking forward to?
No, we're not doing concerts this year. We've already got one of our favorite things, which is the deep fried pickles. Got to do that.
So good.
Now we're on to a Prano Pup and beer.
Very good. All
Sounds
right.
good.
Well, watch out.
Thanks for having me on.
Watch out for Seth, who's out there on beer number 7 now, I think.
I will.
When you get the this is what happens. He turned 21. He's like, I'm going to the fair, and I'm going to
floodgates open.
That's right. Thanks, Joe.
Take
Drive
care.
Time with DeRusha live at the fair. Let's hear it for Joe Tamburino. We're back in just a minute.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha, live at the fair, presented by Andy's Grill. Hey, if you're heading out to the Great Minnesota Get-Together, be sure to meet at Andy's.
Want more cash? You can get a $450 bonus after your first 45 deliveries with Uber Eats. That's a bonus $150 for every 15 deliveries. But what if you're seeing other apps? That's cool. We're not the jealous type. So go ahead, add Uber Eats to your roster and sign up to start delivering. You can get a $450 bonus after 45 deliveries when you start delivering with Uber Eats. Sign up now. Complete within 14 days of sign up, ends 11/1. Terms apply. See app for details.
Don't even think about putting your clubs away this offseason. It's Jason DeRusha. Fall leagues are back and better than ever at Launchpad Golf. Leagues start the week of September 14th, and this season, prizes are bigger and better, plus our brand new weekly birdie hole challenge can feed your group if you shoot them straight. Grab your friends. It's time to golf and dine at your favorite new weekday get-together. Learn more and sign up today while spots last at my favorite hangout, launchpadgolf.com in Prior Lake. Let's make this summer your best summer ever. Jason here for Luther Kia of Bloomington, and Luther Kia Bloomington wants to upgrade your ride. Outstanding prices, $399 a month. Sign and drive lease offers on Seltos, Sportage, Nero, and K5. Get out of here. Plus $750 owner loyalty cash on the stunning Kia Telluride and the Telluride Hybrid. Best cars for the money on the market. Check out their brand new facility, now open at 35W and 494. Luther Kia of Bloomington.com.
And Doug.
Hot dog! Get your hot dog!
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct. To the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. In a clinical study, Eliquis apixaban reduces stroke risk and has less major bleeding than warfarin.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Ask your doctor about the #1 cardiologist-prescribed blood thinner, Eliquis.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Crash working on the west side of the Metro, North 100 as make way toward County Road 81. Multi-car crash with injuries. Left two lanes are shut down. Traffic down to a single lane, getting by off to the right side with stop-and-go stuff beginning as far back as about the area of Cedar Lake Road, so quite the delays there. TAC 15 to 20, maybe even more so on your drive there. Traveling north 169, that slows Highway 7, heading up to Highway 55. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Chanhassen Dinner Theater has a Blue Ribbon State Fair deal for free dinner with a ticket purchase for Guys and Dolls or Annie. Call the box office and ask for Fair 26. Some restrictions apply, and you must order by September 10th. So hop off the Ferris wheel and grab your seats today.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, CCO forecast brought to you by Chanhassen Dinner Theater. Tonight, perfect conditions to watch that partial lunar eclipse. It'll be mainly clear. Dan is aroused by it. Tomorrow, why not? 84 tomorrow, a little cloudier. Saturday, rain early, but it doesn't look like a total washout. High of 83. Right now at the fair, it's perfect. 80 degrees on CCO.
CCO State Fair coverage from the Great Minnesota Get-Together is built by Lindus Construction. Get free installation labor on GAF shingles during the fair.
All right, we are live at the Minnesota State Fair, and one of my favorite spots at the State Fair is the Ballpark Cafe. It is really one of the founders of the craft beer movement at the State Fair. And, you know, people have changed the way they're drinking, right? We got Dan from the state, from Ballpark,
Tyson, same thing, like the chicken, not spelt that way.
I always mess it up. It's good to see you. You brought me 2 beers up here.
Is 2 going to be enough to get you through the show?
Well, I don't know. It depends. It depends how this next segment goes. I'll tell you that much. I mean, you do this with your family up there.
Yeah, actually, my kids are now working too at 17 and 15. 3 other nieces and nephews, my brother and wife and sister-in-law. We can staff half the place with family, so it's awesome.
It's got to be cool, right?
Yeah, I mean, with 28 years, and you see my little nephew and niece were 10, 11 years old when they started. Now they have 3 kids, and their kids are running around. So
I mean,
I didn't know I'd be the old guy on the fairgrounds.
It happened. It sneaks
up.
It
happened.
How long has Ballpark Cafe been up there?
This is year 28.
28 years.
28 years. So.
I mean, Seth, who is walking around the fair today, my 21-year-old just turned 21 in July. But Seth used to mow the lawn with a Ballpark Cafe uniform. He
fit into a small. We had to. He could barely fit into it, or it was big on him.
It's pretty fun. You brought 2 of your new drinks over here today, right?
I did. The first one is Surly Homer IPA. It's a West Coast style, but it's made with black Zanzibar black peppercorns.
It's so interesting. It's hoppy and tropical and delicious. And then it finishes with just a hint of black pepper.
Yeah, it's not spicy.
Pepper. I thought it was going to be spicy. It's not.
That's the fight we'll have with it, whether or not people think it's going to be spicy, but it's actually more of a flavor profile.
It sort of tingles a little on your tongue from the peppery.
And then Surly was super excited about it. When we asked them to do it, they thought we were kind of like, what? You want us to do what in a beer?
It's so good. All right, only 10 seconds left. What's this other
Tropical
one?
North. Pink guava, prickly pear, and tangerine weeded ale from Back Channel. So
good. Go see the Ballpark team.
And you let me know when you're ready for more to get through this.
Continental time and time check 4:57. Back with more for the fair in a minute.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-838-6767. 800-838-6767. 800-838-6767.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Cozy season is ahead, and you'll be spending way more time inside. Is your home ready? Don't worry. With Wayfair, you can upgrade your space without breaking the bank. Score up to 70% off during their Labor Day clearance on furniture, area rugs, mattresses, and more. Plus, surprise flash deals you can't miss. Whether it's one room or the whole house, Wayfair has pieces for every style and budget.
Shop Wayfair's Labor Day clearance now through September 7th at wayfair.com.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Real conversations, relevant information. News Talk 830 WCCO 1029 HD2 Minneapolis, St. Paul.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen.
Historic flooding in Nepal triggered by what experts say was a landslide in Tibet that hit a glacier, creating melt and debris flows that swallowed up homes, bridges, and all else in its path. There are more than 380 deaths confirmed. 1,300 others are missing. The State Department says some 90 U.S. citizens could be impacted. ABC's Tom Sufi Burridge has more.
A glacial breakaway, according to experts, is basically where part of a glacier, a huge amount of ice, can come crashing off the glacier. It crashes down, taking rocks with it, and satellite imagery from before and after the disaster, according to experts, confirms this provisional theory about what happened.
In the latest tariff tiff, President Trump signed an executive order to rename Lake Ontario, he says, to Lake America. Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney says the world will always call it Lake Ontario. President Trump also facing backlash from U.S. cattle farmers and members of his own party after deciding to temporarily lift some tariffs on imported beef beginning next week. Here's ABC's Karen Travers.
The other big question is, where is this beef coming from? The White House hasn't said yet. It was not in the executive order. The White House hasn't answered questions about this. And the Agriculture Secretary this week, when she was asked on it, said she wasn't involved in these discussions and directed people to the U.S. Trade Representative.
First-time jobless claims fell last week.
The expectation of analysts was for a slight rise in filings from the revised figure of 207,000 2 weeks ago. Instead, the number has fallen to 203,000. Economists usually focus on the less volatile 4-week moving average, which was slightly higher last week than the week before.
ABC's Jim Ryan. Jury deliberations began today in the Lindsay Clancy trial. The Massachusetts mother is charged with killing her 3 children. Her defense attorneys say Clancy suffered from postpartum psychosis and did not have criminal intent. Deliberations resume tomorrow morning. You're listening to ABC News.
Minnesota's trusted voice, every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Mostly sunny, 82 degrees at 5:02. I'm Laura Oakes. In Minneapolis, a day of service marking the 1-year anniversary of the Annunciation School shooting tragedy. Local residents, elected officials, and volunteers gathering at Pearl Park in South Minneapolis, packing care kits for the unhoused, running a school supply drive, and honoring the lives lost and the resilience of those impacted last year. Ward 11 City Council member Jamison Whiting.
And that's, I think, is the beautiful part of this, right, is this is derived from the community. And we are here as, I think, vessels to move through what this community asks of us, and that's what we are trying to do.
Organizers are also asking the public to make donations to the Annunciation Hope and Healing Fund to support survivors and their families. Minneapolis police say they are now investigating the July death of a 54-year-old man as a homicide. Abdulwahab Issi was found dead in a Nicollet Avenue apartment July 8th after police responded to a report of a possible overdose. He was pronounced dead at the scene. After an exam, the Hennepin County medical examiner has now determined the cause of death to be a homicide. There have been no arrests and the investigation is ongoing. A federal judge in Texas denies Minnesota's request for extradition as an ICE agent charged in an Operation Metro Surge shooting here last winter is released from jail today. Christian Castro's release comes as his 90-day detention expired. He was picked up from jail in Brownsville and driven away in an SUV this morning. At the fair, it's pickle pie meets politics on this very first day of the Great Minnesota Get-Together. U.S. Senator and DFL gubernatorial candidate Amy Klobuchar telling Susie Jones on the WCCO Morning News, Minnesota farmers are taking a big hit as the Strait of Hormuz closure continues to drive up diesel and fertilizer prices, and the tariff war in Canada takes hold.
We've also seen a 20% decline in tourism, which is really difficult for northern Minnesotans because that's where a lot of their customers come from. So as governor, I'm going to stand up and explain this what's going on here. I think we're going to have headwinds all the time, but it can never be excuses.
Klobuchar's Republican challenger, House Speaker Lisa Damath, is scheduled to appear on the WCCO Morning News on Tuesday, September 1st. So what do you do to pass the time when you're the first person in line for the first day of the state fair?
Read, listened to music, we played Frisbee,
just talked, just what people watched, you know.
Rose Hume from Minneapolis says it was her 9-year-old daughter's dream, so there they were.
Do it for the kiddo. I mean, honestly, that's why we do it, you know. I mean, she's been talking about it for, like I said, 3 weeks, and she just was determined to do it, and here we are talking to you again.
And Rose says they showed up yesterday at 7 in the morning to get that first spot in line. WCCO News Time is 5:05.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Still working to clear out a crash north 100 near County Road 81. Traffic down to a single lane, getting by off to the right side. Stambago stuff in place pretty much as you come up from Highway 7. Traveling along 394 eastbound, got your slowdowns there. 100 into downtown Minneapolis. North 169 jammed up Excelsior Boulevard to Highway 55. Last check, all the free park and ride lots near the fairgrounds were currently full, and the lots on the north side of the fairgrounds, very limited spacing for the most part. That is full right now. Terry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Washburn-McCreevy Funeral Chapels and Cremation Services has been providing compassionate and personalized service for over 160 years. Honor your loved one and ensure your own wishes are met. Call 612-377-2203 or visit washburnmccreevy.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by Washburn-McCreevy Funeral, Cremation, and Pre-Planning Services. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
A lovely evening and a clear sky tonight. That's great news to see the partial lunar eclipse that starts after 9 o'clock and peaks just after 11. 60 the overnight low. Clouds are going to increase throughout the day tomorrow. Should be a little warmer with a high near 84. Rain showers expected early on Saturday. The rest of the day will be mostly cloudy and muggy. Breezy as well with a high around 83.
Mostly sunny right now, 82 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Asking better questions, getting better answers. News Talk 830 WCCO. He knows news. He knows talk. He knows nonsense, too. So get ready for a lot of each. This is Drive Time with DeRusha, fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Once again, here's Jason DeRusha.
All right, we are live at the State Fair. Nice crowd under our nice newly shaded pergola here at WCCO Radio. So grateful to Lindis Construction for putting up. You guys are grateful for a little shade on a sunny afternoon, aren't you? No doubt about it. Yeah, it looks good. We're glad to have it. Glad to have you there. I am so distracted by the story in our newscast about this family that showed up at the State Fair at 7 a.m. Is this right? Did I hear this right? Lindsay back at the station. I don't know if Laura is still there.
Yes, Laura has moved on with her time as she should, but it was confirmed that 7 a.m. yesterday, that family lined up. Their 9-year-old said, "This is what I want to do." And the parents said, "Sure." But you wouldn't do that, Jason, would you?
If my 9-year-old said, "I want to be the first person at the State Fair and I want to spend 24 hours lined up at the State Fairgrounds," I assume the Snelling entrance, probably your main entrance, your TV live shot entrance.
Sure.
I would begin the important parental sort of instructing lessons where you learn a little something about disappointment, right? Like you don't always get
you
what you
wouldn't just
want.
send them off on their own?
Well, that's a fair question. Which would I be more likely to do? Send my 9-year-old to the fair alone if they were so insistent on being first in line, or tell them, hell no, you're not.
It toughens them up. Learn a little life lesson. Get out there on your own, kid. Let's go.
651-461-9226. We are live at the State Fair today. I'm flummoxed. Like, I'm trying to think, is there anything that my kids wanted from me that was ridiculous, but I did it anyway? Like my father is a good man and a good father. And
sounds like there's a but coming.
Yeah, I'm neither of those things. Like my father, when me and my siblings were growing up, it was the Cabbage Patch Dolls. Anybody have the
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my dad would go in the middle of the night to Kohl's or Venture or Zaire or whatever the stores were at that time to line up to get one of those Cabbage Patch dolls. Which, and then the Cabbage Patch dolls, weirdly, like they had some guy's signature on their butt, if I remember correctly, right? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And like now my sister who wanted these was 5 years younger than me. I pretty much what you're hearing from me today, I was doing that same radio show at the age of 14 at home. But just like it made no sense to me. And I thought my dad was crazy.
Yeah.
Now,
my parents just got us the generic versions.
Oh, we did too.
The Lettuce Patch Kids or whatever they were. I don't remember what they were called, but it was not the official Cabbage Patch doll.
Maybe that's why I was ticked, because we would get, like, I grew up in the time that Michael Jordan was the thing in Chicago. Like the coolest sports thing I ever attended in my life was I was at the All-Star Slam Dunk competition in Chicago when Michael Jordan did the famous...
The free throw line dunk?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was there. Pretty cool.
Now, were you there, or is this a story you've developed over the years so you can tell people that you were there?
Fair question.
Because that happens, right? If everybody that said that they were at that thing were actually at that, it'd be like 100,000 seat stadium.
Correct.
But you were there.
I was there. Have I told this story of how I ended up at the All-Star game?
No.
So I was a 7th grader, went to Chippewa Middle School, junior high. We didn't have middle schools at that time. So I'm at Chippewa. And my science teacher, Mr. Silkowski, he was a single guy, physics teacher, and he had 2 tickets to the All-Star Slam Dunk competition. And he said he was going to have an essay contest, and whoever wrote the best essay, he would take that kid to the All-Star game. Now, today, parents would be losing their mind, right? Like, what a pervert teacher trying to take some kid to the All-Star game. But back then, parents looked at teachers and were like, what a nice thing for this guy to do. And you know what? It was a nice thing for this guy to do. Like, sometimes our overprotectiveness has robbed kids of amazing opportunity. Like, sometimes we get a little too in our own heads about this stuff, right? So my parents were like, of course, nerd, you wrote an essay and ended up going to the All-Star game. But my parents thought it was awesome. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have any way to track. We had nothing. You just had a little trust. And did I know it was going to be that iconic of a
of course,
moment?
Nobody
Of course
knew.
not. Nobody knew. But it was all thanks to that teacher who
There you
was
go.
like, it would be cool to take one of our students to the thing. And that, again, today, that teacher would not only, a parent would freak out, but the teacher would probably be fired, right?
Do you still have the essay, or do you remember what the essay was about?
Oh, I wish I did. My guess is I'm the only one who wrote an essay, right?
Possible.
I mean, I'm not going to rule that out. No. But that's sort of how that happened.
Wow.
Right.
Impressive.
But again, if you ask my parents to wait in line in the middle of the night for a chance to buy a ticket to I don't think that was happening.
No.
3rd kid, 1st daughter, different deal.
Oh, like grandkids?
Oh,
my dad wouldn't do it for us, but for the grandkids, I mean, forget about it. He'll wait for a week if it need be.
Now, Texter mentions that I built this pergola, for my son Chad. So that was.
It's nice to know Chad's listening and texting the
show. Yeah, I don't know. It's funny you say that, because your mind is racing. Like, what are the sort of things you would do for your kid? And I'm sure there's something.
Nothing springing to mind, huh?
But the idea
Where's Seth when we need him?
Yeah, Seth would remember. Or maybe you'd hear the grievances.
It might be the grievances,
that's no good. Why don't we break and come back and do a longer segment in a minute?
I like it.
I want to talk about flock cameras. Because, look, I'm a privacy advocate. I'm concerned about, frankly, how freely we give our information to corporate America without even thinking about it. But I am, frankly, astonished at how much Americans are willing to make police officers and law enforcement agents do their job with one hand tied behind their back. St. Paul took action. It's, I guess I'm trying to do my part to say, are we getting carried away with being anti-flock cameras? We'll talk about it when we come.
We also might have some breaking sports news when we come back. So there's a little tease for you.
Double tease, and we'll get to both of that in just a minute here. Drive Time live from the fair.
You're listening to News Talk 830 WCCO live at the fair. Presented by Lindus Construction, a single contractor and construction company for all your home improvement needs.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Save big on everything for your painting projects when you shop at Menards. Improve your home's curb appeal with Pittsburgh's Paramount Exterior Paint. It's a paint and primer in one that defends against dirt and grime while providing exceptional height, adhesion, and fade protection. Save big at Menards on Paramount Exterior Paint. Plus, view our weekly flyer on Menards.com and check out all the great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Are you an adult with uncontrolled moderate to severe Crohn's disease symptoms and still packing a backup bag of clothes? Just in case, Skyrizi Risankizumab Risa can help you take control of your Crohn's. Feel significant symptom relief, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements at 4 weeks. Plus, Skyrizi is proven to help people achieve remission and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Individual results may vary. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's. Ready to take control of your Crohn's? Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's disease.
Control is everything to me.
Learn more at skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI.
You're listening to Drive Time with Darusha, live at the fair, presented by Andy's Grill. Hey, if you're heading out to the Great Minnesota Get-Together, meet at Andy's.
All right, back live at the Great Minnesota Get-Together. Love having people gathering here. Thank you. Nice crowd in the shade. The pergola providing a little bit of shade. The fans are loving it. So definitely, when you come to the fair tomorrow, over the weekend, or next week, come visit us at WCCO Radio. We're right across from Mancini's in French Meadow, right next to Sweet Martha's Cookie Jar, where I'm told you can kind of sneak on the side of the line, offer someone to give them a tip of $0.25, and try to weasel your way into getting one cookie. I like it.
It's not bad.
All right, lay it on me. We've got a little breaking.
Do we have Twins fans in the crowd? Any Minnesota Twins fans? Anybody that's really excited for the idea of Walker Jenkins coming up? Because that's going to happen tomorrow. Twins, or with Dan Hayes from The Athletic reporting this afternoon, he's got sources saying that the Twins are going to place Byron Buxton on the IL, and they're going to call up #1 prospect Walker Jenkins, and he will be in the lineup tomorrow night at Target Field. So if you're excited about that, you don't have tickets yet, Twins and the White Sox tomorrow night. Should be beautiful weather for it. Go out and see Walker Jenkins' first game.
Walker is ranked the number 16 prospect in all of baseball. Center field is where he'll go to take over for Byron. He has hit 8 of his 12 homers in August. So he's been hot over in St. Paul for the St. Paul Saints. And frankly, I feel like the St. Paul Saints social media team have been trolling the
kind of seemed that
Minnesota
way, yeah.
Twins. Like, are you going to call him up or what? So that'll be really fun for an important series against the White Sox.
All the more important after a dreadful road trip. So
it's been a rough go. That is for sure. So that breaking news from Dan Hayes at The Athletic, just reporting that. Pretty good stuff. Okay. I want to talk about flock cameras a bit because yesterday in the city of St. Paul, the city council voted on a non-binding resolution, but they asked the city to get the flock out, get those flock cameras out of there. And there are two things in America right now that both Republicans and Democrats agree with. They don't like data centers and they don't like flock cameras. And sometimes I take the opposite position just to be a pain in the butt. And sometimes I take the opposite position because I really believe that we need to slow down and think about what we're doing. When it comes to flock cameras, in St. Paul, the city operates 2 cameras. The county operates 9 cameras. And I talked to some Ramsey County Sheriff's deputies out here at the fair today, and they're like, well, we're not taking our cameras down. We don't care what the St. Paul City Council says. Here is my main premise on this, and I welcome your feedback at 651-461-9226, or if you have views on this here at the fair, you can come on up and share them with me. Right now, the bad guys have access to more technology, more tools, more social media ways, more dark web ways, more private communication ways to stay out in front of the good guys than ever imaginable. The cops have to operate within the law. The criminals operate outside the law. And this is a good thing. This is good. We should make it such that the good guys have to operate within the parameters of the Constitution, right? Like, this is good. I am concerned that this reflexive hatred for the idea of having a database, for giving up privacy, is making our lawmakers, or making our law enforcers do their jobs with one hand tied behind their back. What is the logic of saying, well, we don't want a database of license plates, and we don't want cops to be able to look at that database without a warrant? If someone steals a car or someone commits a murder and we have a license plate to use, shouldn't we be using every available tool that we have? To me, I don't understand why we're so free to give away our information to every company in the world so we can download an app for free, or we can organize our photos, or we can text our relatives using Facebook or whatever. We'll give those companies everything in the world. You just click agree, download. You have no idea what you're giving away. But God forbid the cops are able to access a database to try to catch people who are stealing cars. I think we are overreacting to a couple of cops that it's been exposed that these cops, there are officers who are using this database in a disgusting way. But it's also something that, like, can't we go after those problems without throwing out the whole technology?
Well, look, that, by the way, giving away your data for free for apps is the best argument I think that you can make in this. My dad's retired law enforcement. I want law enforcement to have every tool possible at their disposal. But the most important thing, and I'm pretty sure he would say this too, the most important thing when it comes to law enforcement is having the trust of the public.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the trust of the public, you can't be effective as a law enforcement agency. And unfortunately, not only has this been violated, this database has been violated by some rogue individual cops that are doing, like you said, gross stuff. But we also
kind of stalking ex-girlfriends and that sort of thing.
But we also know that during Metro Surge, that you had agencies from other towns, other municipalities, other states even, where the federal government was accessing Minnesota data through their access to this flock database. So if threatening to take these things down to eliminate this database is what gets Flock or gets these agencies to better protect this data so that it's being used how they say it was supposed to be used, then I think that's what you got to do, because otherwise you have no trust in this system anymore and people aren't going to cooperate, and then you've lost your effectiveness as law enforcement.
651-461-9226. I do agree, Dan, with the political reality. The political reality is that in our cities right now, there is a lack of trust between citizens and law enforcement. I'm just saying, Matt, we got people with cell phone cameras recording everything in the freaking world, and we're acting like the cops having access to a database of license plates is like, well, that is too far.
Well,
We
the
can't
difference-
have that.
But the difference there clearly is that law enforcement has added authority, right?
Right, but what is the- so
they can
what's-
they can more deeply impact your life
For sure.
than the average person
So
walking around
what
with a cell
is
phone camera.
so what happens with this access? What is the negative result to you or to me? What happens?
Well, I think the deal is, privacy should be paramount, right?
Why?
That should be because we all have that right. We all have the right to not have the government peeking into every little bit of our lives. That's where we should start. That should be the default. And if you want to back that off or create exceptions to that, you have to show that there are specific reasons to do that, not just, well, there may be a crime that we can solve in some nebulous future. You have to show that there's specific purpose. That's the whole point of getting warrants.
So from that perspective, would you be in favor of any sort of technological device that could read license plates?
Absolutely, as long as that database was protected in the way that they said that it was. They said this data will be used for this and this only, and it wasn't used for that and that only, not just for tracking criminals, but for.
But do you think that is the reason that people are mad at Flock? I don't. I don't.
I think when the immigration enforcement stuff happened, I think that's where a lot of this Flock stuff came from. Yes. I think when you had agencies going through Houston to access a database in Ohio, yeah, I think that gets people very, very concerned, and rightfully so.
651-461-9226. I think there are some people who have valid reasons for being concerned about it. And I also think that we need to do a better job of sort of weighing like what's going to make us safer and what isn't. And technology is racing really, really quickly, and our laws are not keeping up with it. And maybe we need to think as a society, like when we say we have a right to privacy, like what do we mean by that? Is it invasive of our privacy for there to be a database of license plates? Frankly, I would say, is it really a violation of the Second Amendment to have a database of gun owners? I mean, I think there's all this technology out there that could make us safer, make our community stronger. And I'm just not sure the logic of telling law enforcement, like, sorry, like, and maybe you do need to do a better job of building, here's how you get access to that information.
Right.
But I feel we're in such a hysteria right now that people want to throw out the database. They want to throw out the company. They don't want to have the conversation that you're raising.
I understand that. And so that's why I'm trying to raise that point,
Yeah.
is that there is a middle ground. It doesn't have to be all or nothing, but there do need to be safeguards. I mean,
for sure.
It's an extreme example, but would you want a universal DNA database? Would you want everybody in the country, if you're a citizen, to have to submit a DNA sample so that if we had DNA at a crime scene, we could easily figure out who did it?
I will say that, like, in the abstract, no. And if somebody killed my wife, then
Right.
yes.
Exactly. But that's not how we do that, right? We don't use that example as, okay, this is where we're baseline's going to be.
My issue is that technology has advanced in a way way faster and way beyond what any founding father ever could have imagined. And so we're trying to apply these like general principles of privacy into the idea of like law enforcement coming into your house. And just, it's so different now. It's so different. And
it is different, but that's why you operate under principles, right? Because then changing circumstances, you have to all view it through that lens.
But I think the idea of, is my privacy violated by someone having a government issued driver's license information? Like, you don't have to get a license plate.
Yeah.
You don't have to get a license plate. It's a government issued license plate that you smacked on the back of your car.
Well, you do have to get one if you want to drive.
If you want to drive, but
Right.
you don't have to drive. It's a choice. I don't know. I'm not
You really wanna
bothered.
make that choice
I'm
for
not
people?
bothered by a database. I'm not. I do want warrants. I do want safeguards. I do think in Minnesota there's good safeguards about you can only keep this data for, whatever, X number of weeks. Then you got to delete it. There are guide rails around it. Now, if they're not using it, then flocks should be done. Get rid of them.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But the idea of a database, I guess I'm just not as opposed to this. And especially, I don't want to conflate the whole like gun issue with this license plate issue. But I do think it's interesting that the people who are opposed to a gun database are in favor of the flock database. And the people who are in favor, opposed to flock are in favor of the gun. I guess I'm like, let's have all the data and then figure out the right way that people are allowed to use it. It's an interesting conversation. Like, I think to me, and on YouTube, one of our commenters is saying it's Big Brother. Dan is right. And I concede that it is a little bit of Big Brother. And maybe I'm acting out of a little bit of fear of the fact that crime has been up and criminals are getting smarter and we have fewer law enforcement officers out there. But the idea of like saying, no, you can't use this tool when it's a tool that you could hire a private investigator who could use this tool. You could do like these sorts of databases. I don't know. It's just I'm uncomfortable with the reflexive sort of privacy above all.
Well, we live to make you uncomfortable. So
yeah, thank you. Thank you for doing that. It's 5:31. We're live at the Minnesota State Fair. Lots of texts, lots of comments. I appreciate that for sure. In just a minute, we're going to break. Could we have a database and use it for murders? Like, could we do that? Like, we don't use it for stolen cars, but we could use it for, could we give up some privacy for the big stuff? I don't know. I'm intrigued by it. I'll say that. In a minute, we're going to visit with another family that is celebrating another year at the Minnesota State Fair. Andy's Grill is such a home for fun and great drink and great food. And they were just featured in the Pioneer Press today for celebrating 40 years at the State Fair. And they are famous for a dance they do to a very familiar song. We'll talk about Andy's Grill and the Andrus family in just a minute on Drive Time.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha, live at the fair, presented by Andy's Grill. Hey, if you're heading out to the great Minnesota get-together, meet at Andy's.
And when you come to visit us at the WCCO radio booth, we are excited that we have delicious Culligan water now at our booth. It's Jason here, proud to tell the story of Culligan. I'm a Culligan guy. And I ended up with a Culligan system in my house after visiting the Culligan hydration station right here at the State Fair. It's one of the great State Fair hacks because you get hot, you get thirsty out here at the fair. You can bring in your own water bottle from home, take it up the Culligan hydration station, and fill her right up. Now, you can do the same here at the WCCO radio booth, but when you do it up at the Culligan hydration station right by the main entrance at Snelling, what you'll find is the hydration experts, the Culligan team available there, and they've got great deals. Like, I got a water softener from Culligan, and mine hooks up to an app, which I gave away all my privacy just so it could tell me when I'm out of salt. It tells me what percentage I'm at. And then I got the reverse osmosis water system, and I have to say that has been such a game changer. We have that under our sink. We have Suburban water, and it's hard and sort of grainy. And the ice cubes would all be cloudy. And when they melt in the water, you get that little residue. All of it gone. Culligan wiped all of that out. And that RO water, when I make coffee or when I use that ice in cocktails, oh, baby. It's good stuff. You can save up to $500 on Culligan, all of the stuff. So get on over there. Culligan Hydration Station, Culligan Water. Glad to have them a part of things out here at the fair on CCO.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Dollar General.
The most downloaded AI model isn't from one of the U.S. tech giants in Silicon Valley. It's from China's Alibaba. Known more for its e-commerce platform, Alibaba's Qwen family of open-weight AI models topped 3 billion global downloads, surpassing open-weight AI models from Meta and Google. Open models can be customized, unlike closed models from OpenAI and Anthropic. I'm Jason Brooks.
Need dinner sorted fast?
Here at Dollar General, celebrate Paw Patrol the Dino movie with new Paw Patrol shaped tots. Crispy on the outside, fluffy inside, and shaped like everything pups love. Bones, paws, and stars. Air fryer friendly and on the table in minutes. Let the little ones pick their favorite shape. Find them in the freezer aisle today.
Some Barufka's customers close their eyes and spin around real fast.
Why?
It helps them choose between style and comfort.
Our Classics in Motion collection finally bridges that gap.
But spinning around is so much fun.
The clean lines and classic style is now available with the comfort of Power Recline.
Features include a USB charging port, 4 distinct arm styles, and seat foam to match comfort preferences.
Available in sofa, love seat, and chair sizes. Built in Texas with premium fabric and top grain leather options, ideal for active families, and buttery popcorn fingers.
The very thought makes my head spin.
Oh, Jim. The 3-seat sofa is Craftsman Direct priced from $61.69 or $258 a month for 24 months. Barufka's, no gimmicks, haggling, or hard to understand pricing in Woodbury and Burnsville.
Decidedly moving.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Slowdowns place South 35E, Roseland to 94, and then again from Victoria Street heading down to Shepherd Road. Cedar South jammed up 494 as you head down to Highway 13. If you're going to be traveling up on the north side of the Metro, West 694. Slowdowns there, Silver Lake Road as you head out to Highway 252. Sherry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
By the Yards Minnesota State Fair sale is happening now through September 8th. Enjoy State Fair savings on premium maintenance-free outdoor furniture built right here in Minnesota. Shop our stores in Maple Grove, Woodbury, or Jordan, or online at buytheyard.net. With By the Yard, life is better outdoors.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast brought to you by the Yard. We love By the Yard. Great stuff, great people. Here is our guy, Chris Schaefer.
Any clouds will clear out tonight. Check out the full moon, a partial lunar eclipse. That moon will take on a reddish appearance as we fall back to 60 overnight. Clouds increase throughout the day tomorrow, another comfortable one with a high up around 84. We finally have some rain in the forecast. That would be early Saturday. The rest of the day, mostly cloudy, humid, and breezy with a high around 83.
Bonnie Raitt at the grandstand tonight. Getting a little more sunshine out here. 79. A beautiful day for the first day of the State Fair here on CCO.
Live from the Minnesota State Fair, News Talk 830 WCCO's broadcasts are built by Lindus Construction. The last call you'll ever need for all your home improvement projects.
Get some overhead lifters and 4-barrel quads, oh yeah. Keep talking, walk, keep talking.
Oh, we had to play a little Grease Lightning because that is the trademark song for Andy's Grill. Michelle Hickey is part of the family that's been running Andy's Grill out here at the State Fair for 40 years. Michelle, it's so good to see you.
Well, thanks, Jason. I know, and we are just thrilled to be celebrating 40 years. We can't believe it.
It is crazy, right?
Yeah.
When you think about it, that is an insane run.
It is.
Do you remember like 40 years ago when this all started?
Oh, I do. We were a very, very small booth, way over in Adventure Park, or where they had all the rides.
Yeah.
And we were a neighbor to Sweet Martha. And she had only been out here a year, and she gave us so many tips on how to get started, but we were real rookies back then.
You know, you think about that, and 40 years ago, the State Fair was so different. This was, 1987, 86?
Yeah.
How different was the fair? The food wasn't like the craziness that it is today, was it?
No, it wasn't. And at that point, we were not serving any alcohol. It was strictly food. I think people were just at a slower pace, but they loved to sit and talk and mingle and enjoy their food. We had about a seating for about 25 only at that time. It was delightful. a real learning curve for the Andrus family, though.
So it was your mom and dad, right?
Yes, it was our mom and dad that kind of kicked it off, although we all jumped in and came up with many great ideas.
Now, the Pioneer Press did a beautiful profile of your family today. And, you know, your mom and dad are 91.
They are 91 and
90.
Yes. And
still out here?
And they're still out here. You know, the crazy thing is my dad now has his little motorized scooter and he can go anywhere on the fairgrounds and people say hello. They want his picture. He knows everyone by name at every stand. And they just love seeing him. And we are very fortunate to be spending these years with my parents that are still out. My mom kind of does some of the finances. My dad is just Mr. Meet and Greet, and he just loves how it's all working out for us.
Michelle, when you look at it's your 3 siblings, right?
Yes.
So the 4 of you running the restaurant, but now there's grandchildren, great-grandchildren.
Yes, in fact.
And people come from all over the country, right? Your siblings don't all live here.
Yes, well, my sister lives in Bozeman, Montana, former mayor. She comes in for the fair, and the 3 of us do live in the Twin Cities. So we are here.
Yeah.
We have, my children have all worked out here. Now I have my grandchildren.
It's
pretty lucky.
It is pretty lucky. I think there's something about that family connection.
Yes.
And it is part of you mentioning the fact that, you know, your dad is going around like the mayor of the fair saying hi to everybody. It is sort of the vibe, though, when you're down there at Andy's. It's part of maybe it's the dance thing, the fact that, you know, it feels a little less transactional. You're not just walking up to a window, buying something, and then you're out, you know?
No, you just enjoy who we are.
You kind of linger a little more. You get to know the folks.
Yeah, it's a great feeling of togetherness. We have so many repeat customers that know us all, and we really enjoy that about greeting all the people. The music helps. We have amazing music. And, you know, Jason, we just went through a huge remodel.
Yes.
Which has been really fun. We have an enormous new mural that depicts many of the artists from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, musical artists.
Oh, fun.
It's kind of like a Where's Waldo on the mural, and you have to kind of guess which artist you're seeing. We have a brand new huge bar, which is exciting. So you have to stop down and see.
I know that you've got Bob and Pat, your mom and dad, are on the Sky Glider in that mural as well.
Yeah, they are. You have to kind of look around and find different people you know.
Now, look, part of the deal at Andy's is that you have some food that people come back for year after year. The Philly cheese is really a legendary thing, and you do a Philly cheesesteak on a burger, right? Which is pretty cool.
Yes, we do. It's kind of it's like similar to a hoagie bun. It's long. It's kind of juicy with butter, and then we put the Philly meat, the green peppers, onions, cheese. Kind of melts in your mouth as you eat it. It's grilled on the grill, the bread. It's delicious.
Now, you brought a couple of drinks over because
I did.
You know, Andy, you guys do a lot of the beer. It is interesting when you look at the sales and look at food versus beer. Like, you're in a part of the fairgrounds that's like a
kind of a mecca for beer.
It's a mecca for beer. You're in the beer port.
And all these good things.
But it's been amazing, like all the seltzers and all the frozen drinks and everything. Slushies, yeah. What did you bring over today?
Well, we're in a real transition. What I wanted to bring was the new watermelon Moscow Mule.
Oh,
we doubled up on ordering, and we've already ran out.
Whoa, in the first day?
So this is going to be a real hot item, let me tell you.
The watermelon Moscow Mule.
Right.
And how is that? What's that made out of?
Well, it's got the watermelon twist to it. It's got the seltzer. It's got kind of all different refreshing flavors. I don't want to give away too much, but it's
Mancini's will steal your recipe over there if they know your secrets.
It's on ice.
Pat, don't put it Pat Mancini like you would do it.
We're calling it a brewtail.
Oh.
And because it's brewed similar to a beer with a seltzer, so we kind of came up with our new theme, which is on all of our billboards around town, as well as in front of Andy's, and we call it a brewtail.
I like that. I like that. It is interesting. Like, I think people are hungry for cocktails at the fair.
Yes.
I will say, like, I have mixed feelings about whether they should let, like, fully loaded alcohol in out here. I don't know that, like, having a literal cocktail is a good idea. What do you think?
I'm kind of into the brewtail and the mocktail.
Because
and
you end up about a 7%.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Great. That's
Absolutely.
great. And look, you get enough of those, you're good to go.
You
Like
do.
we don't need people doing like an actual gin and tonic or whatever. I don't know.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
And there's so many great varieties out here right now. So what I brought too was our Hurricane, which is another new drink we have. And that is kind of a refreshing orange cherry type taste on the ice as well.
That's very good. It's
is
really
it?
balanced. It's
Yes.
not. I was a little worried this was going to be too sweet, and it's not.
No, it's great.
Pretty similar to like if you've been to New Orleans and had the Hurricane, like that's
It is. That's
the
kind of
vibe,
what we
yeah.
based it off of. Yeah. And we added the little hurricane top there on the umbrella, and
We like a little pizzazz, right? It's the fair. It feels good.
well, and if you go order our slushies, talk about pizzazz. We've got cherries that go on top. We have bubble gum that goes on top. We do these little kind of gummy balls. We rim our green apple seltzer.
That's this guy here.
Yes.
Was
but-
that your most popular item, the green apple seltzer?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. It just flies out of Andy's. We can't keep it hardly in stock. And it's very refreshing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And
really good. You can see this doesn't really taste like booze.
no, it doesn't. It's real smooth.
Yep.
You got to be
Little
careful.
like a Green River. If you remember the Green River soda from back in the day, it's a little like that. That's very tasty. It is amazing, like the innovation and all these crazy like. Remember when you were allowed to bring craft beer in, and it was like
That-
whoa, like
We were one of the first to bring out the craft beer.
do you remember which one was first? Which beer it was that you brought out first?
Oh boy, that's going to challenge me a bit here.
But you guys,
I don't think I can remember that one.
you have a
But
number of different breweries. That
we do. We work
yeah.
with all kinds of breweries around the Twin Cities.
What's the number one seller at Andy's?
It's our apple seltzer, but I really think that Moscow Mule is right
gonna
behind
blow
it
it
right
away.
now. We have the chocolate chip cookie beer, which is a huge seller that's rimmed in chocolate chips.
Have you guys ever tried the chocolate chip cookie beer?
Oh.
It's cool because the rim is fun, so it's a good picture.
It
but the
is.
beer itself is just a pretty good ale. It tastes nice.
It is. It's like an amber, and you think that it's not an amber. What am I trying to say? It's not the it's the
Is it
it's
brown
the,
ale or
yeah,
what is
like
it?
a
I
kind
don't
of, well, it's
remember.
not quite that heavy, but it actually tastes kind of like a beer. So the chocolate chip is a little it's got the chocolate. It's got little modes of different seasonings, and of course the chocolate chip melts in your mouth as you drink it, which is delightful.
Yes.
It
It's it's Bigwood Brewery makes
yes,
it.
Bigwood.
It's the description does not answer our question.
Okay. Yeah, right, okay.
It has a malty backbone. It says.
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
It's very good.
I'm a big fan of a malty backbone.
It's got a little bit of a little top on it too, which makes it kind of that malty flavored
pretty
goodness.
good.
Yeah.
That's about 10 years old. I think
It
that
is,
came
and
out
it's
10
still
years ago.
going
right?
strong.
Yeah. Very
Yes.
good. We
Yeah.
love having you guys a part of the show here.
Oh, thank
And
you.
Congratulations on 40 years.
40 years. It's hard to believe.
Pretty
yeah.
good. Michelle
Thanks.
Hickey, good to see you.
Thanks, Jason.
Andy's Grill, everybody.
Thanks.
Meet her at Andy's. That's what they say. 5:48. Back in just a minute with some thoughts on the eclipse. Keep it here on Drive Time, live at the fair.
Live from the Minnesota State Fair, News Talk 830 WCCO's broadcasts are built by Lindus Construction. The last call you'll ever need for all your home improvement projects.
All right, Jason here with a message from my friend Chris Lindahl, who is a Minnesotan. He's one of us. You see him on the billboards, right? People know the arms wide out, the Lindahl bit. Chris is a good dude. Right now, he's sending one of his kids off to college. Like, this is the time, right? You're dealing with all of that stuff. And as you get busy, back to the school year, back to the grind, maybe back to the office more days of the week, if you have a home that you're looking to sell, do you really want to go on the open market and deal with all the nonsense that is going on right there? Right now, when you think about real estate and you think about interest rates, the mortgage rates are still around 7% for a 30-year mortgage. And maybe you're in a hot zip code, but if you're not, buyers are picky. And what's happening more and more is that homes are going on the open market. They're being listed, and they're just sitting there, taking price reduction after price reduction. That's what Chris told me. So reach out. there's no obligation. If you go to chrislindahl.com, I know you might be thinking, guaranteed cash offer. I don't know if that'll make sense for me. It might not, but you can make the decision when you get the information. If you go to chrislindahl.com, click on the button at the top of the page. It says free smart seller guide. You put in your information. And even if you're thinking about selling your house in the next year or so, go get the information so you can make an informed decision. Man, if that guaranteed cash offer makes sense, then to not have to worry about open houses and upgrading and cleaning stuff. Oh, pretty awesome. chrislindahl.com. Let's make this summer your best summer ever. Jason here for Luther Kia of Bloomington, and Luther Kia Bloomington wants to upgrade your ride. Outstanding prices. $399 a month. Sign and drive lease offers on Seltos, Sportage, Nero, and K5. Get out of here. Plus $750 owner loyalty cash on the stunning Kia Telluride and the Telluride Hybrid. Best cars for the money on the market. Check out their brand new facility, now open at 35W and 494. Luther Kia of Bloomington.com.
I'm not one to say I told you so, but I switched to Pure Talk over a year ago, and ever since, I've been telling people there's no better wireless company out there. Well, a few months ago, a massive survey was conducted. 123,000 people were asked to rate their wireless carrier in 4 categories: coverage, support, data, and overall value. Well, the results are in. Guess which wireless company was the only wireless company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. 5 stars, every category. To celebrate, Pure Talk is offering the first 3 months of any plan for just $15 a month, including their top-tier unlimited plan. No contract, no commitment, just a very inexpensive way to test drive the only American wireless company with 5 stars in every category. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will take it from there. Again, pound 250 micro. And yes, I told you so.
Cha-ching! That's the sound of Lowe's Labor Day savings. Get up to 45% off select major appliances and save up to an additional $100 on select laundry pairs. Plus, get 3 bags of Miracle-Gro 0.75 cubic foot garden soil for just $10. Labor Day deals are on now at Lowe's, in-store and online. Valid through 9/9 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details. Soil offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Hey, it's Jen Hatmaker. Here's what I've learned in midlife. Joy isn't the reward you earn after all the work is done. Joy is the work. That's what this new series on For the Love is all about. The sacred yes. It's choosing delight, rest, and pleasure on purpose. Because saying yes to yourself, that's the thing that finally lets you fill your table with everybody else. Come find your sacred yes with me. Follow and listen to For the Love wherever you get your podcasts.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
694 westbound still jammed up. Silver Lake Road to Highway 252, South 169. That's still a slow ride. 494 heading down to Pioneer Trail and East 94. Some slowdowns through St. Paul. Otherwise, a clean shot out into Wisconsin. Terry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Oh, is it going to be nice tonight for the eclipse? Mainly clear, full moon, partial lunar eclipse tonight, but it's going to be a mostal.
It's like 95%.
We'll talk about it in just a minute. Low of 60 tomorrow. Another great day, 84 degrees. Be a perfect night to go out to Target Field, watch the Twins take on the White Sox. Saturday, rain early, and then mostly cloudy, high of 83. Right now at the fair, 80, sunny, perfect on CCO.
The best deal at the fair? Well, it's not inside the Blue Ribbon Bargain Book. It's free water. Served daily at our CCO building. Thanks to our friends at Culligan. Your water, pure, clean, and safe.
Got myself a little bit of Culligan water out here right now at the State Fairgrounds. Glad to have you guys with us in the shade. Some of you in the shade. It's that time of day where the sun is sneaking in on the side. Bonnie Raitt at the grandstand tonight. So if you're at the grandstand, you're going to get a treat. I would think you're viewing.
Can you see the southern sky from the grandstand?
Which way is south?
It's
Anybody
south.
know? That way?
That way?
And you're there. It'd be behind you.
So
So maybe not.
It'd be a little bit. I mean, you have to turn around, but
Can't you turn around?
You can turn around.
So tonight is a this eclipse has been getting a lot of buzz, a lot of coverage
because it's cool.
So how rare? Dan, of course, is going to be live streaming this eclipse
Yes.
on his TikTok account.
Yes.
So if you're a TikToker, follow Dan at Dan Cook.
Dan Cook MN on TikTok.
And so, is this rare?
Define rare in this. It happens to be in a place where you can see it, because of course
that's right.
It's different parts of the world can and can't see it. It's all a matter of timing.
So it's pretty.
We had a good one March of last year. There was a total lunar eclipse, the blood moon we remember hearing about back in March of last year.
That's
was a
pretty
good one.
unusual.
I mean,
I would say
at
not
best
rare,
once a year,
but
yeah,
unusual,
uncommon.
I would like to make fun of Dan's nerddom here.
You would like to. You do on the regular. What do you mean?
Well, but should I just be honest with people and be?
Why would you start now? Looking over at Seth, he didn't catch that joke.
I'm for sure going to be looking at the eclipse tonight.
Yeah. So about 9:30ish is when it's going to start. You'll start to see a little bit of a shadow creeping across the moon. By 11:12, it'll be completely covered up. And once that shadow completely covers up the moon, it'll go from dark to all of a sudden it'll be red. Because that light that comes through our atmosphere is hitting the moon now. And our atmosphere scatters blue light, which leaves the red end of the spectrum. So that light that comes through reflects red off of the moon.
So you'll be watching this starting at...
I'm going to try and be on 9:30, 9:45.
So from 9:30 until 11:30?
Well, 11:12 is where it's max, and then it'll start
the
fading
same amount.
away. So I don't know. Probably
It's sort of
sometime
the
after
same
midnight.
show on the tail end, right?
Kind of, yeah. The red will dull back out to a darker color, and then
I'm
that'll
just trying to
gradually
hone
give
this
way.
into 20 or 30 minutes of my life. You know what I mean? I'm excited about it. I want to see it.
If you just want to see the red color, that coppery red color to it,
Yeah.
you want to go outside at about 11 o'clock and start watching, and by about 10 after 11, you'll see it.
Is that too late for you guys? 11 o'clock? Some of you are like,
It doesn't
I don't
happen
know.
that often,
Oh,
right?
man.
You can miss a few hours of sleep.
Give me the over-under on whether Seth is going to be awake at 11:20 tonight.
He's a college student. Of course he's going to be awake at 11:20. Are you kidding?
Well, the question is relative to more of his current state.
Well, you would know that better than I would.
Just saying, you got your first experience at the state fair at age 21, and you've got a bad influence of one of your dad's friends hanging out with him for the last 3 hours. Do you guys think Seth is going to be awake at
He'll be
11:20?
fine.
It's a 50-50 scenario in the crowd. We'll update you tomorrow.
Yes.
Thank you all for being here. We appreciate
Yes,
you. We
thank you.
appreciate you
Yes.
listening on the radio as well. Henry Lake is coming up next. Twins off tonight, but big Twins news too. Continental Diamond time check. It's 5:57.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com.